Hello and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop, your one stop for co-op news, reviews, and playthroughs. I'm Peter, and tonight we're playing through Ashes Reborn. What's up, Terence?
That doesn't roll off the tongue as well when
It
we change the name of the game.
well, it's Ashes Reborn: Rise of the Phoenix-born Red Rains expansion. How does that sound? How does that come off the tongue, Terence?
You forgot the corpse of Euros
A Corpse of
at the end of that.
Veros Chimera. Well, welcome to everybody that's out there. Sorry we're starting a little bit late tonight. Steve's out there. King of Co-op says, I should not be here, not helping me avoid purchasing this game. Well, it might. You never know. We might do such a bad job that you're like, yep, glad I don't own that one.
Well, if it's swaying his opinion by us just starting and not playing, I feel like we're doing pretty good.
Yes. So what are we playing against? I don't even know. Is this like the basic one or no? You put us up against the middle tier one, it looks like.
Yeah, I didn't like. There's 6 levels. So there's standard level. I guess should we rewind and talk about the game before that
All
a
right.
little
Well,
bit?
we could talk a little bit about the villain, and then we could go from there. So
Yeah, so these are the chimeras, and inside the Red Rains, the Corpse of Veros expansion, which adds a solo co-op mode. You get this one chimera, but you get kind of 6 different difficulty levels. So you get standard 1, which is over here.
yep.
And then there's standard 2, standard 3, and then goes heroic 1, 2, 3 as well. You can kind of see the background changes. And then on the flip side of each of these cards allows you to flip between 1 and 2 player.
Yep. So
Um,
it's solo and 2-player only. This is based on Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborn, which, well, I mean, you have to have it. It's an expansion, I guess, for Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborn, and which is normally a head-to-head card battler. But in this version of the game, you are fighting against a chimera, and we are doing it either solo or cooperatively. Hence the cooperative card gaming guys mantra that we're doing. So when we play, we are going to be playing again against this chimera. We are going to be taking turns, kind of micro turns. I'm going to do an action, then the chimera is going to do an action, then Terence is going to do an action, then I'm going to do one, and we're going to do all these micro turns until everybody passes. And you can basically pass at any time, but if you do it early, bad stuff happens to you. I'm not going to get into every rule. But bottom line is, we are using these dice to pay for these cards in our hand, and then also, like, this is a ready spell. If you look, so it says Summon Squall Stallion. If you look at the very top, and it says ready spell, and it goes in your spell board. So if you look in the top right of the card, actually, let me pull it out so it'll be even easier to zoom in on. This right here is basically saying it takes a full action to do. On our turns, we get on player turns, we get 1 main action, and we're going to get up to 1 side action. So you have to take a main action, and you can play a side action. So this right here symbol means that this is a main action, and this right here means I have to use a dice with the horse symbol on it. Now these dice have 3 different symbols on them each. I elected to use a hero that only uses 1 color dice just to make it easier, but Terence has heroes that are using 2 different dice. The way they've separated it, and you can see it on this little card here, is the highest level symbol here can be used as either itself or anything below it. The middle symbol can be used for itself or this basic symbol, and the basic symbol can just be used for itself. Not only can these dice be used to pay for the cards in your hands and activities and stuff, and you'll basically see how all that works, but they also, if they are on the highest side, it can be used for this bottom effect over here, which in my case is draw a card for these green dice. And then Terence actually has 2 different ones over here with different power effects and different like leveling up. Although the basic symbol is always the same. And that is basically, I think, all I'm probably going to describe before we get going. We're going to go through this round summary and just kind of like do it in order, right? So first thing we do is the prep phase. We roll all our dice. Well, we already did this. So these are our dice results that we got. Don't worry though, yes, there is dice in the game, but there's lots of mitigation you can do. You can always discard any card from your hand or a card from the top of your deck. Now the negative of that is you only go through your deck once, and there is no, like, once you're out of cards, you're out of cards. But you could discard from your hand or from the top of your deck to change any dice to any side. So I could change this basic die to a one of the top symbols. Now it isn't even proportions. The top symbol or the special symbol is only once on each dice. These middling symbols right here are 3 times on the dice, and the basic symbols twice on every dice. So it is not just like 2 or whatever. Anything to
Yeah, I
add?
believe you can also, that action's called meditate, and it's a side action.
Yep.
So you can do that in addition to your main for your side action that turn. But you can also discard from your spell board as well, I believe.
That's
So
right.
you could discard a ready spell, but it's probably not a popular choice, I assume.
Yeah. So actually, everybody's got their own Phoenixborn, and I'm using Nemine Himtide. I got that. Nemine.
Namine? I don't know.
Namine Himtide. So this is the Phoenixborn that I am using. You'll see some information in the middle here. This is the amount of life I have. Our goal is to defeat the Phoenixborn. So if you've seen Marvel Champions, which we normally do Friday night, it's a lot like that. This Phoenixborn, or this Chimera here, has 60 life. We have to defeat them before they defeat either of our heroes. So actually, would it be easier to set our hero dials to their current life rather than... we'll do it this way, taking damage. But I have 17 life. I can have 6 cards in my battlefield, so the battlefield is limited to the number of cards you can have in it, and I can have 4 cards in my spell board. And again, any of these cards that say spell board at the top go into your spell board and wait for you to do stuff with them. You'll notice my hero also, or my Phoenixborn, and they all do have a special power as well. Mine lets me draw a card and place an exhaustion token on this card and on a target Phoenixborn. So I can put an exhaustion token on the Chimera, which is considered a Phoenixborn in this solo co-op mode. But again, I don't want to... I've already gotten into a lot. I think we just play, right, Terence? You feeling good about that?
Yeah, probably the one other thing, since we both have our hands drawn, that's unique to this game for people joining, is that you actually get to pick your first 5 cards, which is pretty unique to this game. But you can only pick 1 copy of any one card, so you can't like stack like all 3 copies of a single card in your first 5.
There are 2 other games that did that. I feel like this was not the first one. I think this might have been the second one. And then
it's definitely unique for in the co-op space, I think, right?
In the co-op space.
Co-op space.
Yeah. But there were definitely other battlers, like 2 other ones that did it at the same time. I think the first one was Mage. I have it right there. Mage Wars, I think, was the first one to do it. And then I think this one followed them. And then there was another one by Serlin Games, who doesn't have a good reputation because
I haven't heard of that company in a long time.
Designs were derivative, but they have a like epic spellbook game as well, where not only the first turn do you get to pick your cards, but every turn you get to go through this spellbook and pick your cards, so you like can like counter whatever your opponent's doing. Yeah. You have this, and you like create this huge book of spell cards. But anyway, all right. So so let's get started. I'm actually going to let you be the first player, Terence. That way I'll be first player second turn, and then the Chimera won't be first player till the third turn. I feel like that's better for us.
Is that how that works? Isn't it like I go first and then Chimera goes? I just mean, do you mean this round, or do you mean when we flip this token?
When we flip the token, but every round. No, it's you, then me, then Chimera turn.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but the Chimera goes for both of us at the same time.
Yeah, but then isn't it the Chimera's turn first after or next after that? Is that not true?
First player? I don't think so.
Maybe you can look that. Maybe we can look that up after when we get to that. Yeah. So my turn is gonna be really simple. I'm gonna put down a ready spell. I feel like that's a common move, especially when there's nothing on the board we can really interact with. So I'm going to put down my Summon Silver Snake. So one of the things you get in all the Phoenixborn is you actually get 1 set of unique cards. And the Red Rains expansion is starting to add a second set, but you get 3 copies of this one card. And you can tell because it has my avatar in the bottom right, kind of like in Marvel Champions.
Yep.
So you know that is unique to me. And so no one else actually can summon the Silver Snake besides Mayoni Viper, who is essentially a snake lady. if it's not obvious from
her
her
name
staff in her
Viper.
picture. Yeah, her name Viper, and then also the big snake staff, and her signature is summoning a snake. So, yeah, that is what I will do. And as
And
a
this just costs a main action. There's no dice cost to this one. So he's just doing this as his main action. You could do a side action if you want. You doing a side action?
yeah, I think I am. I'm gonna spend. There's a part of this where you have to like math out stuff a little bit. Uh,
You're trying to figure out which color dice to spend. There's an
yeah, I'm gonna
exhausted
put
dice guy
down
here.
the empower because it's a side action, so I might as well, right?
Yeah, so that little star in this corner shows that it is a side action. It costs a basic dice, so Terence used a basic dice, but he could have used a dice of any type, either color, as long as it had the basic symbol. And then again, later on, it's going to be an action to do what it says at the bottom here, or an action to do whatever it says at the bottom here. And this little symbol next to the action symbol is an exhausted symbol, so that's what you do in this game to mark that you've used something. You put an exhausted symbol on it, and that means you are not allowed to use it again for its like exhausting power at the bottom. And actually, creatures won't be able to fight or anything else either. Now you're a little different. You have a battlefield size of 4 and a spell book size of 5, where my battlefield goes up to 6, but I can only have 4 spells in play.
Yeah, it seems like you have more. You're more able to do like swarm style builds, which definitely a Battlefield
Yeah,
4
well,
is
and you'll
not
see that right now. All right, so I am playing my Summon Salamander Monk. By the way, this is the rules page, so if you're reading something differently, it just says if the Chimera had the first player token, give it to the player it's pointing to, then continue from the current game state. I don't think it keeps going back and forth with them being first every turn, but you can. This is like the 2-player variant. Okay, so this is just an action. I will exhaust it and use a musical note, so these middle ones, to summon a Salamander Monk, and we'll see what they look like when I actually start summoning them. All right, Terence, you want to go ahead? So what we did is the prep phase we started with by rolling dice. You could discard cards, then you draw up to your hand size. If you can't draw any cards because you either kept cards or because your deck is empty, then you will take a wound for each card you couldn't draw. Then we're going to take our turns again, taking 1 main action followed by 1 side action. And then the Chimera is going to take their turn. If they have any flip down cards, they're going to roll this dice and one of these dice, and we'll kind of show what those dice do. But go ahead, Terence. All right, so the first thing you look at here is it's got a basic symbol. So it does not go anywhere. It just stays. If it had a crystal symbol, you'd put it up here. If all 5 of these crystals were up there, then we'd be putting a Red Rains token on this Chimera. And then you see an ultimate value next to their life on the bottom there. So the information at the bottom I can go over really quickly. So this is its life. This ultimate value is how many Red Rains token it needs. If they get that many Red Rains token, their ultimate goes off. And threat means how many cards you're going to put out every turn. On the first turn, you put out cards exactly the way it shows on the bottom here. So you're going to have a weaker minion followed by, so the 2 gems is like a stronger minion. So weaker, stronger, stronger. But after this first round, you just refill up to 5. So that has nothing to do with it anymore. All right. To activate yourself, go ahead, Terence. You were going to explain their behavior.
Yeah, so I lowered 2 dice, which sucks.
So you rolled an 8, so that's right in
then...
here. So you just look at this line here, and you do what it says. So as a minor action, he lowers 2 of Terence's dice. So what did you decide to do? You took your middle ones and put them to basic?
Yeah, my 2 middle ones, yeah.
Okay. So it did that, and then usually what it says is reveal, which means you revealed the first card in your row. So that was one of the weaker ones, as we remember, although they're not always that much weaker. So we were playing against a Fury aspect. So this does come not only with the 6 different difficulty levels, but it also comes up with 2 like aspect decks. This is the Fury aspect. There's also a Shadows aspect. So this goes into the battlefield. Red Wraith 1. When this unit is declared as the attacker, deal 1 damage to all units and Phoenixborn the opposing player controls. It's 1 attack. It has 2 life. And this 1 blood here is just a reminder that on the back it had a blood. When you defeat it, you actually do 1 damage to the Chimera. So that is that. Now I'm going to do the same thing. So I roll these 2 dice as well. Bing, bing, bing. Come on. All right, so I did get one of the red rain symbols. I put it here. I rolled a 10, which says raise 1 basic rage die at 1 level. So it takes one of these die.
Just powering it up already, right?
Which is awesome. We all love that. And then you're probably just going to reveal one, right? Yep, we just reveal one. So mine is, it's got this little green thing here. Oh, great. We get to describe all kinds of mechanics. So it's got this little green box, and you'll notice at the top it's got 2 little green dots, which means basically every turn before we roll their dice even, they're going to do this. So it says at the start of Chimera's turn, remove 1 status token from this unit to re-roll all basic rage dice. So
that's so terrible.
Anything here, it's going to re-roll. So this does have 2 attack and 2 life. We do want to defeat it. I will show one other thing. So this says when it attacks, and when it attacks is when you either roll for it to attack, or after all these cards are revealed, they're all going to attack one by one and then use the exhaustion tokens to show which one attacked. This will, because of the symbol at the bottom, you'll see this like attack symbol on the right. It will attack my rightmost minion, whereas Terence's has its symbol in the middle with teeth. It is going to attack his Phoenixborn. And we'll show we do have options to deal with that, but not going to show it right now. All right, Terence, what are you doing?
That's a good question. Probably summon my snake.
All right, let's do it. So summon the silver snake. So you'll notice it takes a action and an exhaustion. So let's exhaust this thing. So that means, again, once there's an exhaustion, you can't do it again. It's going to use both of his highest level dice.
Where should I put this? To the right, I guess.
I would maybe even put it under these guys. And I don't know.
I'll just do it to the right. There's a limit on the spell board, so I'll just do mine to the right of it.
All right.
One of the things that's actually different from co-op versus PvP is that you can't arrange your units once you place them. So the sequencing of playing your units actually matters a lot more here. Yes. Because of the thing Peter was saying of attacking kind of left, right, or your Phoenixborn. So you can't be readjusting your units.
And
put them down.
I don't remember if it's this set or the other set, but there is a unit that comes out and says if your leftmost unit's damaged, kill it. If it's not,
that's this one. That's Whiplash.
Yeah, that's no bueno. All right, so there's some other information here which you haven't seen before. It says focus 1 and 2. That means you have up to 3 copies of this spell in your deck. Focus 1 means if you have 2 versions of this spell, you could play them both, and that would mean it has Focus 1. If you had all 3 copies of the spell out, it'd be Focus 2. So you're going to place like status tokens on it. So because the way the snake works is it consumes, it has attack of X, the number of status tokens, which right now are 0. After a unit an opponent controls is destroyed, place a status token on this unit. So every time we kill something, it's going to get a status token and get stronger and stronger. 4 life and 3 recovery is very good. So 4 life is its total life. 3 recovery means at the end of every phase, it will heal up to at the end of every round after we're done with all our dice, basically, and everybody passes. It will recover 3 life if it is still alive, which is an if.
Yeah, and then there's also a number in the bottom left of the attack, and that shows the number for conjuration specifically. The number you can have out.
Yep, which is 1.
So I can't have more than 1 snake, even though I can have 3 of these summon silver snakes. I can't summon more than 1 in play.
And each of them, even though they focus each other, is an individual instance of the card. So while it only takes up 1 spellboard slot, you can activate it up to 3 times if you had 3 versions. So if this snake dies, for example, you could activate it again to bring another snake out. And a third one after it died again.
They will start out with more status tokens on them if they're focused too. So that's also kind of nice.
Yep. All right, so that was your main action.
Yep. Think about meditating.
Do you want to do it now
So I
or wait till it
need.
screws your dice first? Or do you want to do it now so it doesn't screw your dice up?
Well, if I do it now, I can. I mean, I just have a side action, right? So like, I might as well use it.
May as well use it. Go for it. Well, you
So
know
how
you're
many do you think
gonna.
I should
Well,
meditate?
you
So
know
I
you're gonna
need,
need 2 frogs, and you know you're gonna
yeah,
need
two
that.
frogs for this.
I would do another one just in case you get screwed with the double down, right? Maybe even 2 more.
Because I want Gilder, right? So I need one for that, and I need Fleef for that.
You need them all. That's what you're saying. And by the way, when you meditate, there's really no reason not to put it on its biggest side.
5 dice.
So you're meditating 5, so you have to discard 5 cards. And this is where you get sad as you watch your copies of your favorite cards get discarded. Hey, no more snakes.
I did
though.
okay,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. That's not the worst thing.
I mean, I actually feel like Summon Silver Snake is not necessarily the card you care that much
I
about.
don't know.
Like you're just hoping your snake doesn't
Well,
die, right?
sure,
Like,
but I
feel
still
like
like
that's
it to come out with
that's
some stuff on it. Like I like getting extra copies, especially when there's no cost to put them in play.
it's an
yeah.
action. But yeah, that's why I have Golden Veil in my hand, so I can basically counter Whiplash. Hold it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I don't know what that does exactly, but that's all right. We will figure it out if and when it happens. By the way, if anybody has any questions out there, any comments, if you played the game yourself, please feel free to let us know. All right. So, skill or River Scald, I put in for this moment. He has a harsh melody. When this unit comes into play, draw a card. You may discard a card from your hand to deal X damage to a target unit. X equals the magic cost of the card discarded. You know what? I shouldn't have put
What
this
is the
one
magic
in.
cost? Is that just the number of dice?
It's the number of dice. I screwed up. I usually put a card in that has a high cost specifically for this River Scald. I totally spaced on the fact that I normally do that. So this may be bad. Because usually this card, I don't use this. I remember now. So actually, since it's turn 1, I'm going to do that. I forgot. Like, I always...
What are you...
I'll just take this Shatter Pulse. It's fine. It's a 2 cost. I usually try to do a 2 cost.
Does this count as 3? Because it's 3?
Yes, it does. And that's why this is usually the card I do first turn. Because it's a 3 damager.
Yeah. I think it's neat that potentially the first 5 you want in co-op and solo is different from PvP as well.
Yes. Yeah. I almost always have this combo. I just forgot that I normally do that. And I didn't pay attention when we were setting
I love
up.
the art on Shatter Pulse, so that looks amazing.
Yep. Pretty cool. All right. So River Scald, let's look at how this works. So he cost me 2 dice, 2 of these music symbol dice.
Is this you like... Is he like playing an instrument with those 2 musical?
He sure is. He's got a harsh melody, man. When this unit comes into play, first thing I get to do is draw a card. Okay. Not sad about the string mage. I will probably summon her later. Wait, where does it say? You may discard a card from your hand to deal X damage to a target unit, and I certainly will do that. So I'm going to get rid of the Shatter Pulse, which again, I always put in my starting hand. That has 3 symbols on it, 2 a basic and 2 musical notes, to do 3 damage, and we're going to do it right to this Rampager over here. So right before the Chimera's turn happens, so we don't have to re-roll all the basic dice. So...
Thank you. I will take that Munchie token.
Yep, that is an enemy defeated. This goes over here, and because it has 1 blood on it, we are going to decrease the enemy's life. I feel like it's weird that we're decreasing their life and increasing ours. So I'm going to set mine to 17 and just decrease my life. I feel like that's a better way to go.
I think that's because you did it that way.
Well, it started at 30, and I just put it up to 60. But I like seeing the numbers count down. Makes me happy.
I mean, I guess in the physical thing, you don't get like a life counter. They don't even give you a dial, right?
No. You just put damage tokens on yourself normally. All right, so for me, I can spend to draw a card and place an exhaustion token and exhaust target Phoenixborn. Now, I don't necessarily want to do that yet because he doesn't have a red Rains crystal. So exhausting at the end of their turn is going to remove, for each exhaustion token it has, it's going to remove a red Rains. Because it doesn't have a red Rains, I'm not going to do this action yet. So do I have any other side actions I want to do? Not really.
Do you want to meditate? Do you want to use the power?
I'm real happy with my dice the way they are right now. Yeah, because I only need 2 horses. So, yeah, no, I'm good. So I could use this horsepower. What does it do? As a side action, draw a card. You may choose a card in your hand to place on top or the bottom of your draw pile. So that kind of gives you but I don't want to do that. I'm real happy with how everything is. So, Terence, you want to go first with your AI turn?
Sure. I
don't even know what that is. Exhaustion slot. All right. This was a nice roll. The 11, not so much. So it's just raise a basic die. But ink.
That's honestly not too terrible. If you roll terrible on at least that die, it like kind of mitigates itself.
Oop. Did you just flip something? Oh, you just flipped everything.
Yeah. Everything was selected. Oops.
All right, so this is a harder one. It's a 2 blood.
This jobber.
Defender. So the good news about this is normally when you attack something, the enemy will try to defend for it. This guy, because he's a defender, will not do that. But the worst part about him is that Iron Scales ability on the bottom. After this unit is dealt damage, prevent all but 1 of that damage. And it also means we can't like directly attack one of this guy either because he is a defender. All right.
Yeah, that's made change parts of my turn.
So you done?
Cool. I mean, he's done for me.
All right.
You get to lower some dice.
That's fine. How many do I lower to?
2. Yep. The one thing I do like is that they match kind of the side and main actions on the behavior card for this.
And it's a reveal, so we will reveal another one. Bloodlust 1. After this unit destroys the unit an opponent controls by attacking, place 1 red Rains token on the Chimera. So that just gives them a red Rains. You thought that other one was bad? This one, real bad. So this one is exchange link. Move 1 wound unit or status token from target unit to this unit, or move a wound or status token from this unit to a target unit. So I could use her to attack or something, and then move my exhaustion token. Is that right? Oh no, status tokens are the green ones.
No, yeah, those are the green ones. So you would use it on the guy you killed potentially. Rampage.
Sure. Oh, to remove those tokens from them.
Yeah, like that. Those are the tokens you would remove from the.
And then I could use that and give it to your snake.
No, it says move it onto her, right?
No, or
onto target unit. Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I could steal some tokens and then give them out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
I'm gonna steal it from your snake,
and then give it back.
Give
it to Fury, so Rampage, so it can just rampage more.
Yeah. All right, I'm done.
My turn again, right?
Yep.
How much do you want me to kill this guy?
Oh, Mary's here. Welcome, Mary. How much do I want you to kill him? I mean, do we want a red Rains?
How much
The bottom line is I'm going to be able to get rid of 1 red Rains at some point.
Do you have plank? Can you plank for 1?
I will when I start summoning these salamander monks. If you want, I'll do that this turn. It's going to take 2 more turns after to defeat it, but I can use it as my attack.
I was wondering, like, how unlucky do you think you are that you'll roll the attack?
I don't think I'm that unlucky. So the cool part is that these have these summons that you do of these black backs, so it's different. But if you haven't seen the salamander monks, Terence, they're 1 life, 1 attack. But when they're destroyed, you replace them with these little salamander monk spirits.
That's hilarious looking.
Yeah, and it's just a 1/1 that can't block or be chosen as the target. So it's like not really. It's literally just a 1 plink damage. So these are my little jobber like tank slash plink damage dudes. Whereas these Squall Stallions are really my heavy hitters.
Yeah, I have Molten Gold, and the reason I run it is I think it's really good in Ren Reigns. I don't think you generally run it in your opening hand in PvP, but having like 2 frog for 3 damage is like pretty clutch. Like you can just nuke them, but it is a main action.
It's up to you, man.
Um, I wonder if I should just put out the Gilder summon, and then I can take out this Iron Scales on my own next turn.
In one turn, you can get rid of it. Yeah, do that.
Well, I will. I can. So if I play this, get this Gilder. If you haven't seen the Gilders, when they come into play, they do 1 damage.
Ah.
Oh no! Oh, that's on here. When you place a Gilder Conjuration, you may deal 1 damage. And then they're also a guard unit, so like they can also guard. So they protect your snake. You
Inheritance 1, when this
right?
unit is destroyed, you place a status
Yep.
token.
And then I get to put a status token on the snake.
But he doesn't do a damage himself, so you can't destroy it. You can just
No. But the summon does when you.
It does 1 damage. It plinks 1. It doesn't kill it though. You need 2.
Yes, but natural magic plinks 1 as a side action.
Ah, gotcha.
So I can do that right now. Actually, I'll plink it for 1
by discarding a frog.
Yep, put a frog as my side.
Okay, so you could just do that again next turn. By the way, so you could have done that and your 3 damage spell. Really, you didn't even need to summon these little jobbers.
Yeah, but it just like this cost me my main action to do Molten Gold. So I was asking you if you wanted me to basically kill the dude, or I do more board setup, right?
Yep, I'm going to bring out a Salamander Monk. So this costs me a musical note, which I will happily pay, to bring out a... Oops, it's right here.
Conjurations.
One of these. And then I got to put a exhaustion token on this, saying that I have used it. And that is that. 2 attack, 2 life, though, is the negative. So he's going to attack him.
Yeah, River Scald.
Which is fine. Like, if he dies, he dies. Alright, so that's it. So now to the enemy AI turn. Go ahead and do your roll.
Hopefully not too bad.
It's fine. 12's like the only like real jobbing. Because 12 immediately puts out a red rain token for... Wait, you just flipped it. Stop. So 5 is reveal and attack with the revealed unit, which is never fun, but it is a weaker one. It is a 1 blood unit. Whiplash. Oh, here we go. When this unit comes into play, destroy the opposing player's leftmost unit with 1 or more wound tokens if you cannot deal damage to it. Yep, that is...
I don't have a damage.
That is the son of a... Right there.
Yeah, so I could Golden Veil, but I don't think it's worth it because he still will survive, right?
Yep. So he's going to attack. He attacks the right one, which is the snake again. Oh.
Yeah, I don't take 5 damage. Come on.
I thought it was a 3. Oh, I guess this is a 3.
Yeah, that's the stats are 3s. Yeah, so I will... You can choose to counter with your unit. And I will. But if you don't, it doesn't exhaust it. But if you do, you have to exhaust your unit.
Yeah, so that means he won't be able to attack with it. And it also means that if it gets attacked again, it won't do its damage back.
Yeah, so the consume, because it has the X in that box, I believe it means it is immune to exhaustion. So this effect still applies.
Yeah, like the Iron Scales is always applies. And yeah, when a unit's exhausted, they lose their special power, which is kind of nice, except if it's in one of these little X boxes here, which means that it doesn't.
So I'll exhaust and attack because 1 is enough to kill it.
All right, so this one attacked. It has 1 life. You do 1 damage, and you get another token. And 1 blood means we get 1 blood. So 1 more damage on the enemy.
This worries me, actually.
Which does?
The Fire Belly.
Doing 1 damage to everybody? How much life does it have? I can help you kill it if you want.
Well, just because if it does
Yeah,
attack,
it's gonna do one to everything, which will.
and it will kill
All
my
right.
snake.
So you can plink it, and I
But
can plink it with a mud.
I
Oh no, I can just kill it with
I
my
can,
River Scald. Oh, and he won't even die.
well, it depends on how lucky you roll.
Well, yes. So that's the other thing. Whenever you attack, the whatchamacallit, Chimera can block for them. So you roll this dice, and what if it's an 18 plus? He blocks, or not 18. It's 12-sided dice. 10 plus.
It's nine. It's
9
nine.
plus.
9 plus. Yeah.
Yeah, which is not great. It
All right.
happens way more than you want it to. Well, hold on. Let me do my turn, right? Or my AI turn. 8. What's that? The one that upgrades one? Upgrades a die?
Yep.
Oh no,
downgrades.
I downgraded 2 dice.
Yeah.
That I didn't want to see. So I'll downgrade this to a musical
Yeah.
note.
Honestly, this feels like that isn't that bad, but it actually hurts like usually more than the other stuff because it totally like messes your turn, right? So you did 1, don't you do 2?
I did 1 twice, which you're not supposed to do, but I did 1 to the note and then the note down. Does that make sense?
1 to the note.
I made a horse into a note, and then I made the note into this. So I just turned a horse into a basic. It says 2 different dice, but it's the same thing in this situation.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so then I got to reveal.
Oh, there you go. You want to steal some stats tokens?
Oh, I forgot I could do that. But not if she's exhausted. Oh, wait. No, that's this one. But do I do that or do I attack?
That's up to you.
And do I attack this one or do I attack yours?
I will summon a Gilder and kill my Iron Scales. I'm not too worried about that.
No, the fire belly we're talking about here.
Oh, it's my turn, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're correct. So yeah, you do your thing.
I think I will.
Oh, Mary's been talking to us. Hold on, before you take your turn. Mary says hello. I have bad news. I can't make it to Con of Heroes. And then she also says that is the cutest art ever for the glider. Well, I'm sorry you can't make it to the to Con of Heroes, Mary.
That's very sad.
Yes, you will be missed. That is for sure. Okay, yes, the glider does have the cutest art ever. Although I feel like they do mouse artwork very well at this point.
I believe it's Gilder because the L is on the right of the eye. But
you're right. It's not a glider. It's a Gilder. Well, it wouldn't make sense. It's not flying anyway. All right. So you summon that. So to do that, you had to exhaust it, and you used
pay a frog for a
frog. That is a main action. You get to plink 1 damage wherever you'd like.
Kill the Iron Scales.
Seems good. So that's 2 damage on the Chimera, which makes mouths happy.
And I'll flip this.
Wait, what are you flipping?
Oh, I flipped the status token, so I have 3.
Look at your snake.
3 attacks. Snake.
Yes, that is good. And with the 3 recovery, so as long as you don't get jobbed by this. So the question is, do you want me to kill that? But
how you kill it? I still have a side.
I could kill it with my River Scald easily. But then this dude stays around, which I don't really care about because remember, I could put a status token on him and remove a whole Red Rains token.
The other option I have is
do not blow it up. The double frog?
Do not blow it up.
Don't waste it on this little jobber. Like, kill my big dude if you can do that. Because this one just puts a Red Rain token out, which is bullcrap. Right?
I mean, so is losing a like, potentially, like, 7 attack
actually,
snake,
only
right?
if it destroys a unit, if I chump for it with my
hero.
Yeah,
you can always guard with your Phoenix.
Once per turn.
It does cost you 4 health.
I mean, that's a lot.
So the other option is I can use Command Strike.
What's that?
I can just do damage for the value of a unit that I have. Oh, it has to be unexhausted though.
So not your snake.
Yeah.
So your 0 attack over here.
Yeah, I don't have actually anything then. Okay.
All right. So what's the priority here? Is the priority Rampager? I don't think so. I think the priority is your dude, so you don't lose your snake, right?
I think so. I don't have any side actions, so I guess you go unless I'm gonna meditate, but I don't think it's worth meditating.
All right. River Skull's attacking. So that's my main action. So it's a main action to attack.
All right. Roll.
Again, if you look on the round summary, it tells you what the main actions are, which are pay the cost to play a card, you can attack, or you can pass. That's basically it. You play a card or pay like a cost of a card that has that main action. So for the minor action, you can play a card with that cost. You can activate a power die, which are, doing the effect over here. Or you can meditate, which means discard cards to switch dice. All right, so I'm attacking. I do 2 damage.
Yeah. Roll low, bro.
Oh, yeah. So Chimera gets
Don't roll
to
9.
block. 9 plus, it blocks. Why did it not do anything but spin around that 9 axis? Did you notice that? Now it's
I was just this is also why I hate like rolling dice on TTS sometimes. I'm just like, dude, that was not a roll.
Well, but you saw it started on 8, so all right. So unfortunately, Chimera blocked for it. So good news for us, we do 2 damage to the bad guy. Bad news for us, this Fire Belly is still alive. Maybe you do blow it up with your spell next turn. So that is my main action. I am going to need to upgrade some dice at some point. Do I just do it now?
Well, it depends on how many you want to upgrade.
I want to upgrade 2, I think.
Okay.
I got my mage to go, and I got my Squall Stallion. And if I get screwed with anything, plus to summon the Stallion, I need one.
What's your Squall Stallion do?
So
I guess I'll just
the back.
look.
Yeah. So they're X like your guy, number of status tokens, just like your character. But I discard a card as a side action. I discard it to the top or bottom of my deck to put a status token on. But remember, my power is to draw cards. My horse heads let me draw cards. So, and I can have up to 2 of these in play. So they can get pretty ridiculous pretty quickly. Yeah, and they have 3 life, no recovery. Is the big jobbing is the no recovery, but whatevs. Okay. So that was my attack. So I can do a side action. I'm not going to though. Go ahead, Terence. Oh, well, no. Go ahead, AI. So at the beginning of the turn, does that mean now this happens? Or at the beginning of mine?
Yep.
Okay, so we remove one of these. And
I assume it's now, right? It started the Chimera's turn.
not
Your
right,
Chimera's turn or whatever.
All right, so we re-roll both of these. All right. Well, that's fine. Again, I'm going to remove a red Reigns token. So on your turn, go ahead and... Back to that 8. So was that lower 2 dice?
Yeah.
Yay. You can't lower 1 dice twice, though, right? Remember?
Yeah.
That is sad.
It's sad. I feel like I gotta have the 1 for Golden Veil though, in case Whiplash comes out, right?
Well, Whiplash is a tier 1, remember? So
is it a tier 1?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So does that change your mind?
It might.
Which, by the way, is crap. It's tier 1 because it just comes out and kills like your best stuff.
Yeah, I just feel like Frog is so much better because it's like do a damage.
Yep.
I still would have to meditate to play Molten Gold.
If you want, you can plink a damage onto this dude, and I can try to kill him with my Salamander Monk.
I mean, I might as well play Molten Gold, right? Meditate Molten Gold.
Wait, it's still the enemy turn. You got to flip a card, dude.
Yeah. I flipped this one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I'm
Frozen
done.
Fear. This unit destroys the unit the opponent controls by attacking. Place an exhaustion token on the opponent's Phoenixborn. Terrifying 1. This unit cannot be blocked or guarded by units who have attack value of 1 or less. Now, I don't think we can block for each other. I'm pretty sure we cannot.
You cannot.
By the way, did you read that section that I pointed to? Do you agree with me now that it's your turn, my turn, then AI turn? Or
For the round turn? I feel like when I saw it on TC, they gave it to Phoenixborn afterwards.
Well, but... do you think that everything they do is 100% correct?
Well, when the designer watches the stream, when they show it off and doesn't correct them, I think it's correct.
All right. So
let me pull up the rulebook while you're good.
The rulebook's right here. Or are you getting your physical rulebook? Because you're just cooler than me. All right, so all 5 were there, so they get a red reins. But again, they don't trigger their ultimate. Not yet. So they rolled a 5, which is reveal an attack with a revealed aspect. Well, there's that. All right, so Frozen in Fear can't be blocked, so I can't block with this one. This one's already exhausted, so I can't block. So I'm just going to lose 3 life. Uno dos tres, and this is exhausted. So done for them. All right.
All right. My turn, right?
Yep.
Do you think I just meditate and nuke this thing? Is that the right call?
I mean, you could do that, or you could nuke my thing that has 3 life.
Well, yeah.
Which gives us a red rating token, which is fine. I agree. You're trying to save your snake. I'm trying to kill it. But I don't really have anything that can kill it right now. So, let me look at my... Yeah, she only has 1 attack too.
Are you doing String Mage this turn to just pull that token?
Probably.
Is that your plan?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's just do the meditate.
So you're gonna meditate to turn that into a frog.
Yep, and then spend both of them.
To nuke, and you're gonna nuke your fire belly.
I think so, yeah.
Which is
I think
sad,
that's the right call.
because it's a 1 blooder.
Yeah, I mean, it feels expensive, but
he's no joke. All right, so meditate was your side action. Your main action was, and as you could see, you could do it in either order, which is nice. All right, so let's go to... Oh, wait, did I do my AI turn? I did not, right? No, I did do it. Frozen Fear, he attacked me. That's right. All right, so back to my turn. Yeah, I think I put the String Mage out, and you're right, pull that token off. So String Mage cost me a horse and a musical note to bring her in. And as my side action, Exchange Link, move 1 token from target unit to this unit, or a wound or a status token from target unit. Now, your Phoenixborn is not a unit, right? Or is it?
that's correct.
I can't remember now.
Yeah, Phoenixborn's not a unit. Units are stuff out in the battlefield because there's cards that will supposed to say damage a unit or damage a Phoenixborn or both, like if it specifies it, right?
Gotcha. So, yeah, that was her side action, was to pull it. So, let's go to the AI turn.
Does she pull
I already...
one?
It's or.
Oh,
so
yeah, so
next
it takes
turn
another
I can
side
use
action to
it
give it to
as
me.
a side action.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Mine's exhausted, so I can't use it this turn. But
Yep. Well, and if it dies, I really don't want to give it to you
Burn
because
it, yeah.
I have stallions too that can use them.
I mean, honestly, I probably don't really need more tokens based on the blood that's out
all right.
there.
Well, then I can put them on my stallions yet. Then. All right, go ahead and roll.
Dang it.
What is exhaustion slot? I don't even know what that is. Hey, look at you rolling red rains crystals. 5, reveal an attack. Oh, you really like to flip everything.
This guy again? Really?
So which one is it?
Just the guy that wants Planky time.
But he attacks. Good news. So he's attacking your silver snake right now.
I will guard with my Gilder.
Yep. So unit guard.
'Cause it's a
Normally
defender.
units can't guard other units, but this one
That's
can.
correct.
So you get 1 token when he's destroyed. Or you could give it to my mage, and she could start giving it to my guys.
Do you want it?
Not really. If it's fine. I would like you to do like 100 damage to the boss in a minute.
Just get mine snake up to like 50 and chop
then just-
the chimera. It's like snake versus chimera.
Yes.
Long.
Snake
Long
against
form.
snake.
Yeah. Snake v snake.
Yep. All right. I'm going to put this down here, actually. I mean, do you want me to start working on it with my monk?
On what? The iron scales?
I could kill it before its turn, but I'm in trouble. Like, I got a lot of stuff. Well, I mean, my guys are just
it's
gonna-
fine. Like, you don't have to. Like, this guy's exhausted. He attacked me, so.
Well, that means he
only
doesn't
thing I
counter me,
have-
right? So my...
That does mean he doesn't counter you. The only thing I have to worry about now is the frozen fear, but I'll just eat the 3 damage. And I'm okay.
Yeah. So do you want me to kill this Iron Scales? Because there's
It's up to you. It doesn't.
I mean, I'm gonna
you
be
only do 1
taking-
damage at a time, so you can't kill it unless you're gonna do double plank.
Well, I mean, I got String Mage, too. Who's not really doing a whole lot. Or should I start getting my Stallion out?
Probably. Wait, who attacked you for 3? Oh, that was the frozen fear.
Frozen Fear Jobber. I mean, I could kill him before he attack. Oh, he's already attacked this turn. All right, so
Yeah, he already
there's
attacked.
no
That's what I'm
rush.
saying. He's exhausted.
Yeah, there's no rush. All right, so my side action is going to be to discard a card and upgrade this, and then I'll discard it to put this in play. Am I going to need... You know what? I'm not doing that. I'm actually going to put this into play.
Magic Siphon.
Magic Siphon is like the best fixer card in the game. For a side action, you could change 1 die in your pool and 1 die in their pool. So I get rid of their crystal and turn it back to a basic die.
1 die in your active pool side and change 1 die in a target player's active pool. So you can pick me.
I could pick you as well, yeah. So I could upgrade both of ours. I could downgrade theirs. Like, yeah, it's super good. Actually, could I pick myself as the target player?
Yeah, choose 1 die in your active pool.
So I could change
Change 1
two
die
of
in
my
a target
dice?
player's active. Yeah, you could do double or yourself.
I mean, this is like I said, for one middling note, this is like the best card in the game, I feel like. For side actions, to just be able to change. Like, it gets rid of the need to meditate most turns. I don't know. I think it's really good.
I wouldn't say I best card's probably an overstep, but it's a good card.
Yes. I mean, think about controlling your economy, right? Like, that's what it lets you do. Anyway. All right. Chimera's turn. Go ahead and roll. Oh, no, you don't roll.
I don't have roll.
So
it
when he
just
doesn't
attacks me.
have face down stuff. Oh no, this isn't the one we're trying to kill. All right, we're good. So you just take 3.
I'm good. I just eat 3. I'm okay with it.
All right. So
I
you're
mean,
done.
I think Mayoni has actually like relatively high hit point pool in general.
Oh, she definitely does at 20. So now, when there's stuff face down, that's when you do the dice rolling stuff. When there's not, they attack left to right. You'll see on mine more because we've killed none of my stuff. And then they basically, the AI is going to do nothing every time it's Terence's turn. So,
I will basically do nothing at this point.
oh, you're done too? Oh, I've got plenty to do still. Hey, I like rolling red rains.
I just burned a lot of my dice.
Attack if able, if not reveal. So guess what?
Yeah, both of us goes.
Attack if able means that I do not reveal the card. He's gonna attack, and I think I'm gonna chump.
Oh, you mean you're gonna block?
I'm gonna block because if he kills something, he
I'm like,
adds-
yeah, I'm gonna chum my Phoenix Born. I'm just like that implies it dies. It's
Well,
like, what?
yes, I'm not killing it, but I am gonna block for it. I can't block with any of these because none of them have unit block, right? So
Yeah, no, they don't have guard.
They can block for me, but they cannot block for So he does 4.
Wait, they can't block for you if he's attacking you directly unless you have guard, right? That's also true.
Are you sure?
Like if Frozen in Fear attack, can you block with a unit?
Well, not Frozen in Fear because
It
he has
doesn't have
Terrifying.
guard.
But I believe I can normally block with him.
Don't you need a unit with
I
guard to
don't
block?
think so. Am I remembering this wrong? Let's look up guard. Or let's look up attack sequence, right? And if anybody in the chat knows, let us know. Chimera turn. If he attacks your Phoenixborn, Phoenixborn is the target of the attack, you may assign up to 1 unexhausted unit you control as a blocker for each attack. Unexhausted. That's the only. If block,
Gotcha. It's only when they attack a unit. You just can't
it's
block
just
another
unit. Yeah, you have to have unit block
Okay.
to block. That's why it's called unit block, because it lets you block for a unit. We'll look at the recovery phase after we're done. So it's us Chimera. So again, resolve this status abilities of all aspects. So that's what those green tokens are. And then they act. If one or more aspects are face down, you roll the die. If not, they just attack or pass. All right. So that was mine attacking. So it means I don't reveal that one yet. So back to your activation.
I think I'll pass.
All right. You never used Empower? What's that?
I
Wait,
just
you
don't
have
have
2
the dice
dice
for
left.
it because, yeah, but none of them are the right color.
Well, who made that mistake?
It's because I burned the whatchamacallit, natural.
Well,
to
don't you have a
play the
card in
damage.
your hand that uses? Oh, but that defends your unit.
Yeah, which doesn't matter anymore.
Well, what's your special ability? Can you do that?
No,
For
because I have it
pink.
unexhausted.
Place this die on the target unit opponent controls without a charm on it. You could charm one of my dudes. Although you
Yeah,
have to
I'd have to meditate for that,
meditate
though,
to do that, yes.
which doesn't seem worth it unless you really need
mean-
that -1 damage.
Doesn't seem worth it for you. I'm getting my butt kicked over here.
No, I just mean like it doesn't seem worth it for me to meditate just to do that. Like
Yes.
if you were to use Magic Siphon or something, I would.
Well,
totally do it.
I'm doing it this turn right now.
Yeah, so I can do it next turn if you want.
Yeah, but I don't think it's worth it. I think you're right. Although if this only had 1, it'd still kill me. I don't care. All right, so I am going to Magic Siphon as my side ability. I'm going to put one of mine up to a horse head. And I don't need a horse head. Oh, but you said I could choose myself again?
I mean, it says target player. It doesn't say target.
Yeah, I'm going to do
Other
it myself
player.
again. Because usually I would get rid of one of theirs, but I feel like I'm going to need it. So that was my side action. My main action, I'm going to attack with my Salamander Monk, who's going to do 1 damage to this dude. So he takes the damage. My Salamander Monk dies, but when when he's destroyed, place the Salamander Monk's spirit conjuration onto the battlefield. So, Padink, I think he just still goes to the right, though, right? And he will not be the target of the attack. Are you looking stuff up?
Yeah, I was trying to.
Yeah, look stuff. What are you trying to figure out? I mean,
I was
first
trying
player,
to interpret the like first player token.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding, it doesn't do that, but I don't know. I might just be wrong, which is perfectly possible. All right, so I did my side action, I did my main action, and now let me see something. You've destroyed, place a Salamander Monk. Yep. All right, so now it's the AI's turn for me because yours are all done, and you're basically done yourself. So let's go ahead and roll mine up. Boom, boom, boom. Crystal and an 8, which lowers 2 of my dice, which
Yep.
is
Downgrades both of those.
super sad. One of
Yeah.
them I didn't need upgraded. The other one I definitely did. So that's the negative of doing it in that order, but I do want to kill this stupid Rampager. I usually
You
don't
could always
upgrade my
meditate.
dice. I usually don't do this. I shouldn't have done this until like the turn I need it, right? Like that's a lesson learned for this game. Like there was no reason for me to use this last turn. None. If all mine were basic, that would have done nothing. You know what I mean? That was stupid. Like there's literally upgrade when you need to use it. Like lesson learned. Oh, another Frozen Fear. Yeah, by the way, I'm going to be down to like 7 health at the end of this. And have 3 dudes still in front of me, which doesn't seem great. Alright, so my Salamander Monk Spirit is going to attack and defeat him and be gone.
Does Iron Scales defend across the table? Do you know?
Oh, by the way, I couldn't have just attacked it. We needed to roll. So let's see for the first one. Yes, I got through. For the second one, no, it does not. So, oops.
Wait, you attacked twice?
I attacked once with the regular Salamander Monk, remember?
Yep.
And then this guy. Ugh, that is brutal. What do you mean? Would he defend across? I don't think so.
No, just because it says defender, right?
I think all your stuff stays in front of you. The only thing you can do is attack across. If I'm not mistaken. All right. So actually, I didn't need to attack this. It was stupid anyway. So I'm kind of glad it worked out the way it did. So you're all done, right?
Yep.
All right. So this attacks me on his action. And because it ignores the spirit, it attacks over here for 2. But I do my 1 damage in retaliation, which kills this thing. So that worked out. So that's what? How much damage? 1 damage. 1 blood.
And then you have to exhaust your String Mage?
Yep, because I did decide to counter it. And then
Wait, it attacks your leftmost unit, though, doesn't it?
Rightmost, right?
Or rightmost? Is that not
He's
your
transparent.
Salamander Monk Spirit?
He's transparent. Read it. This unit cannot block or be chosen as a target of an attack. So my rightmost unit becomes the String Mage, who has recovery of 2, which is pretty money. All right.
This recovery 3 on the Silver Snake will be nice, too.
All right, so you're done, I assume? So I'm just going to keep going?
Going to continue to pass.
All right, so I do need to meditate, so I'll discard a card. Aw, River Scald, that's sad. But then that'll make it a horse, which I will immediately use to put my Stallion Jobber into play, and that's all I can do because my side action was meditate. My main action was to play this, so I am good and done, and then this one attacks me for 3. And so that's going to be it for the AI. Unfortunately, that's almost it for me. I've lost 10 health this turn, which is not great. Let's be honest. So I'm going to summon my Squall Stallions. So I do that, and I got to pay one of these and a basic. Put one of my Stallions into play. Alright, and then draw a card. You may choose a card in your hand to place on top or bottom of your draw pile. Oh, I still haven't exhausted myself, so let's do that. So my main action was to do this. My side action is going to be this. So side action, I exhaust it, and I pay this 1 dice. So I got to exhaust myself to do that. Draw a card. You may place an exhaustion token on this card and an exhaustion token on the target Phoenixborn. So I'm place one on myself and I'm place one on the Chimera, and we'll see why in a minute. But basically, as I said earlier, it gets rid of red rains. Then I get to draw a card, which is a Flute Mage, which is good, but not good enough to... All right, so everybody's passed now because they're all done. They're all done. You're still done, right? So yep. I will discard this as a side action to put a token on him. My main action is going to be to pass, which if these weren't all showing would mean that we had a red rains, right? Is that what it is? Or is it just upgraded die? I can't remember. If you pass before you're
It's
all
upgrade
revealed.
die, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so it just upgrades a die. But so that's I'm gonna pass as my main action. My side action, I discard a card from my hand. Oh, top or bottom of your deck. That's right. I'm gonna put the Flute Mage on top of my deck. That's nice. So my next turn, my side action I'll do first to put a token here, right? Because that's her thing. It doesn't cost her to exhaust or anything. So, oh, she can't do that while she's exhausted though, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Does it say exhaust?
No, but the problem is her
but her
text
ability's
is
shut
blanked. Yeah. Yeah. So I can attack for 1. I think I just attacked the boss, right? There's no reason to get my dude hurt.
Well, all the units are exhausted, so it's free damage, dude.
Oh, good point. Does your guy have iron scales? Yep, I'll hit your iron scales dude then for 1. I forgot.
Yeah,
When
the
exhausted, they don't
like
retaliate.
exhausted thing is a thing that I've keep having to remember coming from champions and other games.
Yeah, it's hard to remember that they don't attack. So, just as a reminder, my battlefield maximum is where's my Phoenixborn? Is 6. My spell board is 4. So I have 3 of the 4 that I'm allowed. But again, duplicates don't count against that spell board limit, which is kind of nice. All right, so let's quickly walk through the recovery phase now that we are all done. I've used all my dice. I've done everything I really want to do. You've finished all yours, and the enemy has 2. So first thing, remove wounds from units with recovery value. So this string mage here has a recover of 2. I know your other one had a recovery of 3, right? So you're taking those wounds off. So that's first things first. Next thing, remove exhaustion. Remove 1 red rain token from a chimera for each exhaustion token. Bye, red rains. Right? Seems good.
Yeah, we're about to get 5, so...
Well, I mean, there's nothing we could do about that, could we? Now, oh, wait. On it and its ultimate card. So the ultimate is a spell, actually. So if something says, like, it says ready spell there.
It's a ready spell specifically.
So you could add tokens to it. I've done it with one of my other characters. So remove an exhaustion token from each card and rotate your Phoenix board upright. So my Phoenix board can guard for me again, although it doesn't seem like... Excuse me. Doesn't seem ideal. So unfortunately, though, because she has 2 exhaustion tokens on her, I'm only removing 1. Are you still trying to figure out who goes first?
Oh, no, I know I'm right. Because I asked the playtesters on the thing. You alternate with the Chimera. I was just responding to them.
All right. So that means I'm going to be first player next turn, though.
Yeah, so it points to you, but like the Chimera's first, and then you become the first player. So the wording in the rulebook, in the new player rulebook, is...
better.
Still not super clear, but it says when the first player token is passed to the Chimera, pointed at the player who did not just have it, the Chimera will then pass the first player token to that player at the end of the next round.
Yeah, it says
so.
That.
Like in a roundabout way, you could basically glean the thing I'm saying in that second sentence that you pass it to the player who it's pointing to.
Yeah, but it never says pass it to the Chimera after the player's turn.
It says the Chimera will pass it to the the person that's pointing to. So if I pass it to you, like you, then,
I get it.
Then it can't like basically the second sentence is the one that makes it kind of clear.
See, I always did
never apply it that way.
Then here, and then he gets it, and it points to the first player again. Like
no, it always alternates with the Chimera. So like you do not get.
All right, that's fine.
We do not get 2 out of every 3, I guess.
No, I get it. All right, so they're first player, but he's pointing to me. Got it. All right, so but we're not there yet. May exhaust any number of your dice. So if we had dice left over, we could exhaust them. If you don't, do you just get to keep them on whatever side they're on? So you're gonna keep this class charm?
You got to keep what on what side?
It says may exhaust.
I'm definitely exhausting my basic.
But you get to keep that, I guess.
I don't know if I care to keep it. Wait, do I have any? No, I don't have any. Like, I don't have any. You know.
Abilities that use that. I forgot
Yeah.
to
So
unexhaust my spells, which would have been bad because that means I couldn't summon stuff. Oh, by the way, the great part about this Torrent 1 thing is place a card in your hand on top or bottom of your draw pile. If you do, place a status token on all Squall Stallions you control. So I want to put a Squall Stallion out early and really start buffing them up. Does that make sense?
yeah. I mean, it's like the snake, right?
Well, except you're doing 2 at a time every time you buff. And I got guys who unexhaust my guys, which is kind of money.
Yeah, I have spells that unexhaust.
Yeah. And by the way, we are using the basic decks for these characters. Yours is a core box character. Mine is not. But I wanted to use this one because it just used 1 set of dice. I didn't want to worry about multiple dice. And as Terence has pointed out, you could even like take one of these dice out and put one of the green dice in if you want to have the ability to draw cards or whatever. So you can put dice in. And there's all these different types of dice that all do different things. But you could put dice in even if none of your cards use them, just for the bottom effect.
Yeah, I will say if you're interested in the deck and playstyle that Peter's playing with, the Song of Soken or whatever I think it's called, the box is a deluxe expansion, so it is a new dice type that does not come in the master set.
Yeah.
But it like I do recommend if you do get into it and you're looking for stuff to buy, like to buy those deluxe ones just so you can get access to kind of all the dice types.
I
think
mean,
there's like 3 of them.
this is my favorite hero that I've played. I've played a lot of them, and this is definitely my favorite one. All right, but let's keep going. So exhaust dice. Place red rains. Place 1 red rain token on the Chimera for each aspect in play.
So that's 5.
Yep, so I have 3, you have 2, which is 5 total.
Which triggers the ultimate.
If we look, his ultimate is 5. But let's... Alright, so place 1 for each ultimate in play, or for each aspect that's still in play. So we're placing 5 on here. Then we read the ultimate. After placing red rains tokens on the Chimera, if there are red rains tokens equal to or greater than their ultimate value, resolve the following. So there are... It's 5, which is equal to its ultimate value. Remove red rains tokens from the Chimera equal to its ultimate. So, goodbye, red rains tokens. Discard all cards on the Chimera's battlefield that it does not own. So we could put like cards in their battlefield over here that would hurt it, for example. But this is when it would get rid of it. Deal 1 damage to all units and Phoenixborn the Chimera's opponent's control. So, there's that. Which just kills my monk here. Are you with us, Terence?
Yep.
You seem distracted. All right.
No, I was just trying to explain to someone that the wording in the rulebook is not clear, who basically was explained to me the first player token ruling.
Yeah, it's definitely not clear. Discard. All right, so 1 damage to everybody. So all your guys and your Phoenixborn.
Yeah.
So I'm down to 6 life, by the way, which isn't wonderful. In case you were wondering.
Can't defend for you. I can only kill your stuff.
Well, kill my stuff. Deal 1. Remove this card from the top behavior card. So what this does is this upgrades the ultimate, so it does 2 damage next time, but it also upgrades this card. Upgrade meaning makes it worse. So like instead of 1 or 2, this only happens at 1. This is now 2 to 4. Honestly, it's not that much worse.
It is 2. The ultimate is now 2 damage for everything, which is kind of rough.
And this
when
one
that triggers.
does damage instead of downgrading dice.
And it's 2 dice now, right? Instead of 1.
Well, it's raised 2 dice. Yeah, instead of 1.
Yeah, this was used to be raised 1, right?
Yep. So this is the way that the we should have got rid of this too. So this is the way that the AI gets better. I mean, he would have still had 1 here if I hadn't exhausted him. The problem is I can't exhaust again this turn now to use my special power. But that is what it is. All right, so AI goes first. Oh, no, we're not done. Sorry. Replenish aspects. So now we have to replenish aspects. So we do it from the top of the draw pile till he has 5. Till they have 5. Oh, both of mine were level 1, but that also means they might have whiplash, which is great. So you get 3.
Yeah.
That's a level 2. That's a level 2. Now, when this deck runs out in a co-op game, we shuffle all the cards and put it back on.
I have the fatigue card underneath.
Yeah. So it'll show what it does. In a single player game, though, when you go through the deck even once, it exhausts them and they start taking damage the same as you do when you run out of cards. By the way,
obviously you're going through it twice as fast in a 2-player game.
Yeah. All right. So replenish aspects. So we already placed red rains. We already replenished aspects. Replenish status. Refill status tokens. So if any of the jobbers had those green things with status tokens.
The rampage that you have here.
Yep. They would have gotten them, but they don't. Resolve end around effects if we had any, which we don't. All right. So now we get to roll dice, discard cards, and draw cards. So again, if you don't discard your cards, then you'll take damage for each one of your...
I'm keeping Golden Veil after having plank damage on Silver Snake, that's for sure.
Okay, so you do take a damage for that, though, right? Because you couldn't draw all 5?
What?
You take a damage for each card you couldn't draw. You couldn't draw this.
No, I can draw. That's if you deck yourself, dude.
Are you sure it doesn't happen when you hold cards, too?
Yes.
It says here, fatigue damage. Wound your Phoenixborn for cards not drawn. You did not draw a card. You only draw 4 cards. That is also not clear to me if that is intended to be the other way, because I've always taken damage for holding cards.
It's draw cards until you have 5 cards.
Right?
I did draw until I have 5 cards.
Yeah, so that's not clear to me either, right? Because it says wound your Phoenixborn for each card not drawn.
Yeah, like say I had a card of... If my deck only had 3 cards in it, if I can only draw 3 of 5, then I have to take 2 damage.
No, I get that, but I always thought it also included holding on to cards. I guess I was wrong. Oh, we got some people in the chat. Jordan says, on the fence about upgrading and then catching up with the expansions with this game, solo co-op is a game changer for sure. Yeah, Jordan. I mean, you'll see whether you like it or not, but it definitely and you get some upgraded stuff. You get 3 new Phoenixborn, and you get or 4 more new Phoenixborn, which are actually repeats, so you could use them with the ones you have, and a whole new deck of cards that you can deck build with or play with on its own.
Yeah, I didn't come from Ashes 1.0 before Reborn. But I've heard that the upgrade kit is insanely good value. Like you get a lot of cards. It replaces, I think, 30 or 40% or something along those numbers of the total number of cards. And it's for everything in Ashes 1. So like even if you just have the master set, you're going to get the cards that they've reprinted. So you could use those, like you don't have to rebuy that stuff, but obviously they're not like replacing whole packs, right. But I've heard it's like pretty good value. And if you're playing Ashes 1 and you kind of know, I think to some degree, if you like it or not, I think what the PV provides is a way to bring the game to the table that maybe you can't convince your partner to play because it's too competitive. And I think this is definitely one of those dueling games where the skill diff can really impact your enjoyment, because the difference between like someone who's really good at the game and someone who's not is like pretty steep, right?
Well, but then you get to play together, so that's the good part.
Right, I'm just saying, like in the normal PvP, it might be hard to find people to play.
Well, that's the benefit for sure of the co-op. All right, so I rolled. He got a 10, which raised 2 basic dice, which was enough to get him exactly to all 5, which got him their red rains. And then we still reveal, so there's that. Although I don't have much to reveal. When this unit is declared as the attacker, deal 1 to everybody. Yep. All right, Terence, your turn to roll, and roll and roll.
Isn't it your turn to roll?
I already did. Remember, I just raised 2 dice, gave him a red reins, it revealed one of my dudes. You're just not with me, Terence. You're not
I
with
was just
me.
reading the because you're asking about the thing for the fatigue. It says place 1 moon token on your Phoenix Born for each card you should have drawn but could not.
Yeah, again, I always assume that still meant could not. You're not drawing because you have a card in your hand. I mean, I get it, but it should say could not because you have no cards in your deck, right? To make it perfectly clear, because you can't draw one if you already have a card in your hand, right? You see what I'm saying? Like
Attacking leftmost unit.
Reveal, and then attack with the revealed one. By the way, is what you did. So it would attack your snake. Your snake would kill it.
Also would die.
And would die.
4.
You could resummon it.
Resummon it back to 0 damage. Seems good.
I mean, it won't stay at 0 damage. So I don't know what your 1 card does. Your Golden Veil. You may play a spell after an opponent targets a unit where you control.
It's like Enhanced Sense.
Cancel the effect and the remaining effects of the spell, ability, or dice power.
Yeah, so you can cancel the Whiplash effect.
Oh, but it doesn't cancel him attacking you.
Yeah, because he's not targeting it, right?
Yep. So are you going to chump with your hero?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Oh. Sorry.
Or not exhausted, but like.
So he's exhausted now, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, so this means you can only do that once.
Yep. Except good guy Chimera can do it every time you roll bad.
Well, yes. Good guy Chimera definitely is a chumper of all chumpers. I don't like this. Even a little bit. I could put this over here and kill him. He can't attack, though. It's only the left one, right?
Yeah. It's only they attack left or right.
So as my minor action, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this on here.
Okay.
Still haven't decided if I'm going to attack yet or not. Probably not. I'll let him kill this dude. He'll do the 2 damage back. And then I'll just kill him with one of my little monks. Hopefully, anyway. What's this? So I get another change of die. So I could do that twice a turn if I put that out. I could remove an exhaustion token, which is real good for a minor action. Now he doesn't get to attack or anything, but still real good. What's this one? Reaction spell. You may play a spell after you've declared attackers. Deal 1 damage to target unit you control to deal 3 to a target unit. That also seems good. And that... Oh, it requires me to discard a card, though, right? String Mage.
You already have one.
I mean... Oh, you can't have more than one?
No, I just like it. I already know what it does because it's in play.
Oh, yeah. So this one, after 1 or more moon tokens are placed on your Phoenix Born as a result of a unit's attack. So this is a spellboard spell, which it stays in play. You place a status token on it, and then this is how I can plink. Remove a status token to destroy a unit you control. If you do, choose a target player, destroy a unit they control, which is real good, by the way. Because I could destroy one of my little jobbers.
Your salamanders?
Salamanders or the spirits, right? Because that's still a unit I control. To destroy one of
salamander.
to destroy one of their biggies. So I feel like I want to get that in play. What do you think?
Sure.
Just because next time I take damage, like, I can't afford to take much more damage here.
Do you care more about Hunting Instincts or Frozen in Fear?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely could block these right now. They're not going to attack, though. This one's got to attack first. So we've got some time. I'll probably have to chump my Squall Stallion and kill. You know what I mean? I'll probably just block with this thing. Although, I do have the thing that when I attack, I could discard a card to do some stuff. So what's this? Draw a card. You may choose a card in your hand and place it on top or bottom of your deck. So I don't have to do that. I could just keep it, right? Why didn't I do that last turn? Why did I put it on top of my deck? That just lets me draw a card. Which then lets me crescendo. Which seems good, right?
Are you talking about doing Torrent to place a card on top of your deck and then crescendo it back in your hand?
No. I'm talking about doing Sympathetic Magic to draw a card, right? And it says you may choose a card in your hand and place it on top or bottom of your draw pile. I guess I don't have to do that, though. So then, look at Crescendo. Correct. You may play a spell after you've declared attackers. Deal damage to a unit you control to deal 3 to a unit. So I could kill this effer, right? When I attack with any unit.
Yeah, and you gotta obviously discard as well, right?
Well, discard it and another card, right? Is that what that means?
Yeah, that's the cost. Yeah,
so that's the benefit of drawing a card, because I like all the cards in my hand. I guess I can get rid of String Mage, but...
Yeah. I mean, for all you know, you might like the card that you just drew, so...
Well, I don't have a minor action to do this turn, so I think I'm going to do that, because this isn't any action. So yeah. So as a minor action, I'm going to spend a horse to draw a card. Encore. Search your discard pile for a card, so basically get whatever you want.
And you get to draw a card. Well, I guess you can draw the card on the top or
bottom, and then you could, yeah. But... I mean, there's no reason to discard that when I can just discard. Do you do
something with stuff on the bottom of your deck?
No. It just means I don't have to see it, and I won't deck as quickly, right? All right. So I'm going to attack with with String Mage. Who's she going to attack? I guess this one. Or wait, no. We got this guy.
Wait, you had String Mage out?
Wait, he's not still exhausted? Oh, he is exhausted.
He attacked me this first.
Isn't there an armor guy? Oh, this is the one I'm talking about. I'm thinking about attacking. So I can kill him, right? With my String Mage?
I mean, I can kill him because I can just summon a Gilder. It's okay.
Well, but you do realize I'm trying to poke something to death here.
For what?
With my Crescendo. I can't play Crescendo unless I attack. So I need to attack something. Just watch. Trust me on this. So String Mage is attacking. Right?
Yeah, but there's no reason to attack Iron Scales, though. For it. You can attack, like, anything you want if it's going to die.
Well, nothing else is going to die. This is the only thing literally I could kill. You'll see. I'm going to attack here. Then I'm going to Crescendo.
Crescendo doesn't require you to kill something, though.
No, it does not. You're correct. So after you declare attackers, deal 1 damage to a target unit you control. So I'm going to play Crescendo. Let me put it over here for now. And I'll discard my String Mage. Although maybe I want to discard my Flute Mage. But we'll see. It doesn't matter because I got Encore. So I'm going to discard this. And I paid the music. Deal 1 damage to a unit you control, which will be the String Mage. Because she's about to die a horrible death anyway. To do 3 damage to target unit. We kill this dude.
Okay.
Actually, do I want to do that or do I want to kill this dude? Because I don't want to take damage myself. I think I'd actually rather... Oh, but he just puts a red reins. I could just chump this dude, right? So, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to kill him. He's worth 2 blood. Plink, plink. So now we do the attack part of it. I do 1 damage to it. It does 3.
You got to roll your dice, man.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I always forget that, by the way. Yeah. All right. So he's dead, and I'm dead. Seems pretty good, right? Killing 2 units for 1 string mage.
Yeah, but you could have also like hurt the hunting instincts or something that was already exhausted, and not chump your string mage to death.
I mean, I could, but who cares?
Well, just saying, like I can easily plank this, so you didn't have to like sacrificial lame your unit.
Well, but you
Mostly
can
my
easily plink the Frozen in Fear, which is about to have 1 life left on it after it attacks me, and I chump with my River Scald, right? So, like, they're...
Well, it's not necessarily attacking you right now.
Well, I know, but at some point it will, so we can plink that. Like, we need to kill... Like, I want to kill stuff.
Well, like part of it's just like I want to Gilder out in general, so I need to plank something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Plink my Frozen Fear. That would make me very happy. We did 2 more damage to it, by the way. Did I do the first 2? I can't remember. Probably. Right?
Yeah.
All right. See, Terence, this isn't Marvel Champions where you're always right. Here, sometimes I'm right.
I still don't know if you were right there.
I was definitely right there, Terence. Don't you question me. All right.
Yeah, because like as a side action, you can just continually, if you didn't sack her, like you could continually just like kill stuff, right? Or move damage
to them.
Yeah, it's a side action, dude. Exchange link 1. You don't even have to exhaust her.
Yes, but she can't be exhausted already. I have another one.
Right.
And I could pull her from my discard. Don't forget, I could do that. That's a thing I can do.
Yeah, that's just a bunch of actions there.
Hey, man, I got all the actions in the world because these things are going to definitely go before me. So, all right, what are you doing?
Right. I'm going to Gilder.
From Gilder. Yeah, I'm going to kill this dude anyway. Dude, this guy's dead. From my horse. My horsey horse. You need to kill my guys.
Should I kill Firebelly? Or do you want me to kill Frozen Fear?
I want you to kill everything. Kill all my guys.
Because I could just kill Frozen Fear. Yeah, instead.
Because my
or
stallion...
I could kill Firebelly, that would kill your River Scald straight up. If he attacks, right?
Firebelly? Yes. And really hurt my stallion.
Yeah, do you care about that more? Or do you want the Frozen Fear gone?
So what are you doing? 3 damage?
I can either Command Strike for 5 to any unit, or I can just do a side action for my Natural Magic and Plink for 1.
I mean, Plinking for 1 doesn't kill something. Are you saying eventually you could kill it?
No, he has 1 health left. I can literally Plink it right now and kill it.
Didn't you just put that damage on him? How does he
have
have 1?
Summon Gilder is a main action.
Ah.
Natural Magic is a side action.
All right. Yeah.
This is also a side action.
Yeah, go ahead and kill it. That's fine.
All right. It's gone.
So that's 1?
Yep. I have a 6 attack snake. Where's Overkill, man? That's what I need. Need Overkill.
Is that a thing?
For my snake. No, I don't think so.
All right. So you're done.
Yep.
I'm done. You're done.
Pretty cheap turn for me.
AI's turn is rolling. 1 is just reveal. That's always just going to be reveal. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's fine.
Mostly just because of the number of dice that are basic.
I mean, I can kill it with my River Scald as my main. It's not great. It's not ideal. But it's a thing I can do. You have to do yours, though.
Yep.
Could be 1 less basic, and you could roll a high number. It is 1 less basic, and you did roll a high number. That's just 1 to your Phoenixborn.
Yep.
which, by the way, is very dangerous for me. So what's this
Oh,
thing?
here we go.
Why do you
Another
get that
one.
jobber every time? Like,
I don't,
literally
dude. It's randomized, man.
every time. You've gotten 100 of those.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Do you want me to try to kill this guy with my River Scald? That means I can't block my Frozen Fears. I don't want to do it with my Stallion. So I'll be taking...
That's up to you. It depends on how much you care about 3 dice. It's what, 1 red rain?
Yeah, I don't really care. Honestly. 1 red rain token. I'd rather summon my other Stallion and start discarding cards to, like, build up and be able to do some stuff. Because right now I feel kind of useless. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to summon a Stallion. So it's a main action, an exhaust, and a middle, and a lower dice. So I summon my second Stallion, and as Terence pointed out earlier, that number 2 tells me how many I have in my deck. That's all of them. I'm going to discard a card. I'm going to discard... As much as I like summon... You know what? I can't really afford to take damage. Although a free Plink is pretty good. What do you think? Do I get rid of my free Plink? Do I get rid of my Siphon Magic? I mean, Siphon Magic will let me get rid of these jobbers, right? Which seems good.
I mean, everything's good, man.
Well, that's why I'm asking. If it was you, or would you just get rid of Encore?
Just get around Encore unless there's a card you're fishing for.
I mean, I was going to get my String Mage back, but... As you said, she's pretty darn good.
She is pretty darn good.
So... She's better than Flute Mage right now, right? I mean, certainly unexhausting. Like, attacking with Stallion twice is pretty good, though. A 3... yeah. I'm going to get rid of Encore. Or...
Yeah, the Flute Mage... Basically, the String Mage is good for eliminating units beforehand. And the Flute Mage is good once everything's exhausted.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to get
then you're basically like destroying everything and they can't attack back.
I mean, I don't need great dice, so maybe I get rid of Siphon Magic. I don't know. It's such a good card, though. And it lets me draw. Never mind. I'm going to get rid of Guilt Link. I'm getting rid of Guilt Link. I think that's the one. I mean, it's good.
Guilt Link also good when you don't have much health?
It is very good. They're all very good, Terence. I got to make choices here. So that flips this and puts 1 on here. Or should I have drawn a card as my side? No, because that's a side action. And I want to start being able to kill stuff with my Squall. All right. I am done.
Wait, is that the side action that made you discard a card?
Yeah. No.
Isn't it place card on top or bottom of your draw pile?
You are correct. Guilt Link will be on top of my draw pile. You are smarter than I am. But it's 1 to every Stallion. Yep. Good call. Thank you, Terence.
Okay.
I mean, you can also get rid of this jobber, I just realized. Although your 6 damage is probably better spent.
I don't care about this guy. He's exhausted right now. And plus, I have this dude. He's going to defend everything.
So how does that work? Does he get exhausted after defending once? Do you remember?
Nope. Not if you have Defender.
Well, yeah, no, it's a very specific section.
They don't... I don't think any unit exhausts for defending. But most units don't defend.
Right.
They don't exhaust for counterattacking, but you do, right?
Yeah, we definitely do. There's a whole section here. We can read it step by step for everybody.
I think I will play Summon Gilder as my main. So I can summon another Gilder. And then... Do you want me to take out a Frozen in Fear?
Yeah.
Or...
I'm not going to be sad about that. So how are you doing that? What are you doing?
Side. Choose an unexhausted unit you control, deal damage to target unit equal to my. So I just nuke it for 6.
Nice. So that's 2 blood.
Yep.
Bink,
And
bink.
now I have a 7 attack snake.
Nice. And you got another Gilder to defend him, which seems good.
Well, no. I had that Gilder from last turn. I just put the second one so I can summon a second one next turn.
Oh, you put the Summon Gilder spell into play. I got it.
Yeah. So now I can next turn frog and summon a Gilder to kill my scales. Potentially.
All right. So I think I encore.
No, now you roll. Now the enemy attacks you.
Oh, yeah. So this one's attacking. So I'm gonna block with my River Scald. Give him 2.
Destroys unit. Place 1 exhaust token on the opponent's target's Phoenix Born.
If he destroys something.
Yeah, so you get a
Yeah,
second
that's
exhaustion.
fine. That's fine. That is what it is. Oh, we should have done this at the beginning of the turn.
Yep.
Well, that's terrible. And now we get
Cool.
to roll all of them next turn. Hey, good news. We get 1. And what's 6? Reveal an aspect and attack with it.
Whiplash. Here we go. Boom.
Hey! So Whiplash.
Golden Veil.
When this unit comes into play, destroy the opposing unit leftmost with 1 or more damage, which is the snake right now, which would be bad if you cannot deal 1 damage to the player's target leftmost unit. So if you had nobody that was damaged, it would just deal 1 damage. But yeah, so you may play the spell after opponent's unit controlled with the spell ability or dice power, cancel the effect and the remaining effects of the spell, ability, or dice power. No! All right.
Yeah.
So
Would feel super bad,
dude, yeah, that is the worst. Like Whiplash is the worst card, by the way. For 1 blood creature, it's Bull Maduki.
Cool.
Okay.
Now it is your turn.
Yeah. So do I start summoning my Salamander monks? Do I start attacking with these jobbers? Do I get my what's her name? I mean, I could get a River Scald too to like melody some crap to death.
What are you discarding though? You already had a hard time discarding stuff last time.
I mean,
Well, the last turn, not discard, but just top deck.
no, you draw a card first though. But yes, no, I like all my cards. I agree. Magic Siphon is the card I guess I need least, but that's only 1 symbol. Flute Mage would be the one. That's 2 symbols, right?
Yeah.
I could plink something for 2. Well, I could do my side action first and then kill this thing. You think that's the right call?
What's your side action?
To give them 1 more token. So it's up to 4, and then I could attack them. And I have 3 life, so I would not die. I mean...
that seems like the right call just because then he doesn't activate against you.
All right. So sadly, I get...
Right? Like then it's all exhausted at that point.
All right. I'm getting rid of Siphon Magic. Forget it. So that's the card I get rid of to put tokens on these guys. So that was my side action. My main action is to attack and pray to God I don't roll a 9 or above. 2. Boom! All right. That's pretty good. All right. So this dude, dead. 1 blood. I'm so excited about like a 1 blood attack.
I'm really sad about this second exhaustion token, actually.
Which second one?
From Frozen Fear. Oh, I have an answer to that.
All right. So I did my side action. I did my main action is the attack. So go for it, Terence.
Huh. Okay. So main summon a Gilder.
Heck yeah. So because he has 2 cards, he can exhaust both of them, but it only takes up 1 spell slot, which is nice. You get 2
Did I just
Gilders.
kill Whiplash?
You get to plink
Or do I
1.
Iron Scales?
No, dude. You put 1 on the Iron Scales, dude. Obviously. Whiplash will... He's like 10 turns away from activating. It's fine. Oh, by the way, all my stuff's activated. I feel pretty good about that. Or you could just kill my dude.
Why? Your dude's like the lowest priority. He's exhausted.
I mean,
And
he's going to
not
add
activated.
a Red Rains token, by the way.
Why is he gonna add a Red Rain token?
If he's not dead by the end of the round.
Dude, that's an end of the round problem.
Yes, I agree. All right, so you want your Scales dead, right? I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, at some point I do.
All right, so you put that on him to lower his attack by 1, which seems good.
Yes, which means my snake will not die if I defend.
Oh, is that the plan?
Well, I feel like my command strike is really good as an ability, and I don't want to lose it next turn.
That makes sense. Yep.
Right? Like just being able to nuke anything off the board, getting past
so that
guard
was
and
a
stuff.
side action. What are you doing as your main?
Summon Gilder.
Oh, perfect. All right, so enemy turn.
Passes
I got
for you.
nothing.
Doesn't pass for me. So he attacks.
So you're blocking?
And I will block it.
And kill the F out of it.
Yeah.
So you take 2 damage.
Yep.
And he takes 2 damage.
Yep.
Blink, blink. Blink, blink. Although at this point you do 8 damage.
8.
We're getting to the point where we need to start attacking the boss. Don't need to, but should start attacking the boss. All right. Do you need anything done imminently?
On my turn?
Well, why don't I do this? I'm going to summon my jobber.
Do you have a side? You don't.
I mean, I could do this to siphon magic, but... Oh, yeah, there's nothing that messes with dice anymore, so I may as well. Right? So I'll put this up to a 6. And I'll put theirs down.
Nice. Okay.
Or do you want a dice up, raised?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, so... What do I want here?
Because this will let me kill your Whiplash, by the way, before it goes with my Salamander. So if you could kill your... Oh. No, I can only kill one of them. So you decide which one you want to attack you and which one you don't. And I can kill the other
It doesn't matter for those, right? In general. I'm going to spend these 2 dice as a main to refresh my snake.
Wait, how did you do that?
Refresh. Literally have a card called Refresh.
That is ridiculous. You may want to kill this before it activates. Actually, you don't...
No, I don't care. I have 2 defenders.
No, dude. Oh, that's a Whiplash. It's not a... I thought it was the one that does 1 damage to all your stuff. I'm like, dude, he's going to die. That snake's going to die.
Side action, I will plank Iron Scales, I guess.
With what? Oh, you're a frog?
Frog. Love frogs. Frog's my favorite dice type, dude, in this game. That 1 plank damage.
It's pretty good.
All right, so that's 2 blood.
Boink,
Snake's
boink.
now 9.
I assume you're attacking with the boss with the snake at some point here. Or are we going to just clear these things? I mean, I'm killing Whiplash in 2 seconds. So that was the enemy turn. I'm attacking Whiplash right now.
No, that was my turn. Now enemy turn goes.
He activates.
I'll defend with a Gilder.
So
guard.
Puts another
Oh, I don't even have to. It's attacking my Gilder. So the Gilder will take the attack that it's attacking.
Oh, no, you're still defending. Defend with the other one. No, I'm just kidding.
Defend the Gilder with my other Gilder?
Yes, exactly.
So now I have a 10 health, 10 status token snake.
I mean, seems good. especially if you can continuously.
Wait, are you playing Flute Mage?
I will. Yes.
So you can just like clear the board, right? With your stallions?
Is this only me that I can remove it from? I mean, my goal is to yes.
No, it's target unit. It doesn't say yours.
So do you want me to undo your snake and then you attack for 10 twice?
No, I feel like clearing the board and not getting the red rains will be nice. And I'll still swing for 10 this turn, right?
All right. So do you have other actions? You do have actions. So I'm just going to do a main action. This dude's going to attack this guy. Let's just start with that.
Okay.
So no 9 pluses. Why did I say the word 9 every time? 1 damage. Plink. All right, your turn.
I only have 1 action I can do. Do you want me to take a unit out? You want me to hit the boss? Can you clear?
I'm gonna kill some stuff. I can't clear all of it at this point because of stupid salamander. Well, no, maybe I can. Because I'm gonna get a flute mage and I'm gonna get. Don't forget, I'm getting my whatchamacallit, my string mage too at some point.
So you're gonna use the flute mage to move a wound token off of one of these guys?
Oh.
Off one of your units, right?
Yeah.
Onto your string mage, and then you can use it to.
Yeah. So yeah, my string mage will do it. That's fine. My string mage will kill this one or this one. So yeah, you attack the boss.
It's in for 10.
I mean, that seems real good. All right, and then are you done basically?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna encore to bring string mage out. That's my main action. We'll go to the next turn. I'm gonna play her for 1 and 1. That's my main action. By the way, I just get to keep going here, which I'm not sure if that's great or not. So and then move 1 wound. So she's gonna grab the wound from my stallion as her action, and then as her side action. And then back to my main action again next turn. I'm going to move this wound onto him. So he's dead. What's that? 2 blood. And I get a main action. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 blood.
Attack stallion, tax.
Yeah, attack
hunting.
The big one. Pladink. Hopefully 2 again. Or 3. 6 is fine.
6.
All right. So
2
that's
blood.
2 more blood. Now I'm gonna play
right, back to your main.
This dude for 1 and 1.
Side action, you taking the damage off my snake, I guess.
Yeah, we'll put it on the whiplash. Oh no, I take it off. That's right.
Yep.
All right. So
now back to
my turn. Put the side damage over there. So that's what, 1 blood?
Yep.
Should I take some off of your snake and give it to my guys? So my flute mage is going to do that.
To ready my snake?
To ready your snake as my main, or as my side action. I just passed, I guess, as my main action. I mean, I still get to attack with her.
No, I thought you attacked, didn't you?
No, I never attacked. It's fine.
Oh, you never attacked?
It's fine. But yeah, your snake gets to attack again. Flute mage.
I'll attack for 10.
So.
Oh wait, no, it's more now, right? You killed, how many dudes did you just kill?
3.
Yeah, so it's up to at least a 12.
I mean, no, it's 13. I literally killed 3 by putting 2 damage tokens out, and then I killed 1. So I took 13 off. So down to 10. So I'm first next turn, but you're second. So that means we kill it before.
Yeah, I'll just attack. I'll just attack to face next turn.
Hold on. My string mage is going to attack for 1.
Sure. Right, recover.
Well, hold on, actually. And I'm going to use my horse
I like
head.
how you have a dice tower.
I'm going to use my horse head to draw a card. And then I'm going to discard this card to put tokens on my guys.
Why don't you just actually play it?
No. So now my horses have lots of attack. See, this is why I love this deck. Like, I love building up these horses and then having a flute mage. Like, I understand you have cards, spells that can ready your thing, but like mine just ready. And then these salamanders are great because they're like chumpers that like. I mean, I'm talking now because the game's over, right? We win because we go first next turn, right?
You want to stack up and do it,
I don't think
or you
we.
just want to call
I
it?
don't think we need to show people. Do you really? Oh well. Oh, do we have to survive next round? How does that work? Or as soon as we kill it, we're done?
I think you're done once you kill it.
Yeah. So I mean, if people want to see the end of round stuff, but it doesn't matter. Like literally, as soon as you go,
Yeah, I can one shot it.
Yeah.
Like the remaining health.
I mean, I would have 6 damage on it already because I would attack it with my
but you
stallion.
can't do it in one blow, right? Like he would get to go.
Yes, he would get to go once before I obliterated him. But yeah, I mean, I could even, for a minor action, boost up my stallion before I go, right? So I'd have a 6/4, attack with the 6, and then I have a 4 sitting in the wings, which could then become a 5 pretty easily. So yeah.
I forgot to use my empower.
So end of round, remove wound tokens from units according to their heal. Remove red rains, for if they were exhausted, but he's not. Remove 1 exhaustion from everybody. So everybody be ready except for my mage, who would have 1 exhaustion left. You'd exhaust any dice you wanted to. I actually still have this dice, so I could exhaust it. May exhaust or place red rains, 1 for each aspect in play. There is 0. Replenish aspects. So if there were cards, we'd put up to 5 aspects out. Oh, well, let's talk about this. So starting with me, right? 1, 2, 3. All right. So flip this card over, shuffle the Chimera's discard pile, and create a new pile. But when this is done, the Chimera is exhausted. So when we go through the deck a second time, and in solo you start on this side. So if you look at the lower right corner of the card, that's the 2-player starting side. This is the single-player starting side. Set this card by the Chimera, then shuffle the Chimera. So why do you do this? Why do you shuffle their pile to create a new pile?
What do you mean? So it's random?
No. But read it. Set this card by the Chimera and shuffle the Chimera's discard pile to create a new draw pile. But why would you do that? The Chimera is fatigued.
Because you still draw cards.
No. This time you do, but this says shuffle the Chimera's discard pile and create a new draw pile. This already tells you to do that. Why is it on this side also saying?
Because this is what happens when you go to the second time. It doesn't get fatigued right now. It gets fatigued the second time you deck.
No, I get it. It's weird, right? Like, do you not view this as weird? Like, why does it have that top paragraph? Like, it should just say on this side, flip it over and shuffle the deck on top of it, right? Like, why is that there? Like, when does it?
The second time you get to this card is when you follow the instructions.
I know, but that's weird, right? Why is that top paragraph there? So anyway, when resolving effects, the Chimera cannot draw cards. Its draw pile is considered to be empty. See, it says it's considered to be empty. It doesn't say it is empty because you're supposed to.
No, because you still draw. Like, it's not like he doesn't put rage cards out. He still does when he's fatigued.
Oh, that's why. So you do shuffle it and put it back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you still get cards. It just means that
I thought you didn't.
No, then it'd be like super easy, man.
Well, if you fatigued them, which I've never done, have you?
No, I haven't played Saria, who's the Fatigue Phoenixborn. The draw. She like forces card draw on you.
So literally, what's the benefit of fatiguing him? Because it says you can't
basically
draw cards.
you force the Chimera to take damage by forcing it to draw cards. Or
So
not
that's
draw cards,
literally
discard
the
cards
only
off
reason.
top.
So he still puts the cards in front.
Yeah, it's for the whole point of this is like to allow you to build mill decks that basically mill the Chimera, right? Like it would be lame, like not lame, but it would be there's literally Phoenixborns and archetypes around milling, like surviving and milling, and if you basically shut that down, it means that kind of that kind of strategy is broken, right? In
All
the
right.
co-op.
So that's why I was confused. All right. So you still would get your cards even the second time through.
Yes.
Now again, you look at that bottom setup, that's only at the very beginning of the game. Do you put the cards out in those numerical order? Literally every other time you're just shuffling the deck. So yeah, because I've never fatigued him. I've never played any of those mill decks.
I mean, I don't think you're going to unless you're milling, right? Like that's kind of the point.
Right.
Like you're probably also not like, you have what, 16 cards? Like you only play 3-4 rounds generally, I think, in most Ashes games in PvP and probably in co-op and solo. So you're probably not going to deck yourself, but if you have a deck that is really forcing you to draw cards and discarding them, right? Like you're going to mill your deck.
Well, so at the end of the turn, what I could have also done is discarded a card to make this here, and then drawn a card, right? And then discarded it as my to buff these.
Yeah, but you basically still have half your deck left, even with that micro.
So yeah,
right?
I could have gotten them up to 7 attack at the beginning of my next turn, had I done that with my 1 extra dice that was sitting there. It's pretty good. So I like. So you have 1 snake. I have 2 stallions, but the stallions don't do nearly as much. Like together, they're pretty close to where your snake is. But yeah. So you want to go to final thoughts?
Sure.
Do a quick final thoughts. All right. All right. So that is Ashes Reborn. So Terence, you love this game. I feel it in my bones.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so I think different from how the other FFG games play that I think it's refreshing. And then,
Well, you
like
say the other FFG games. This is not an FFG game.
Yeah, like the like I guess like the other card games that are mostly FFG that are in this space, right? Like
right.
it is very different as a constructed card game. It brings me back to like it's even more flexible in deck construction than Lord of the Rings, which I think is really neat. Whereas I feel like
you're only forced into 3 cards, right?
No, you're not even forced. You don't have to play them.
Oh, so you
don't have to put them in your deck. You don't have to.
So do you?
You're just the only one that's allowed to put them in your deck.
I understand. So do you feel like there's a lot of differences between the Phoenixborn then? Given the fact that you could literally build 1 deck and play every Phoenixborn with it, and in fact, if you buy Red Rains and just play with the ones that are in the deck, they only give you 1 deck to play with them. Now, I understand you can't just play with that, literally, unless you bought dice packs. I guess you could.
Yeah, assuming you have the whole card pool, whatever, right?
Whole
like,
card
just make
pool,
it simple.
but like,
which I do.
But they don't give you. They give you 4 Phoenixborn, but they only give you 1 deck of cards. So, again, with the expansion as a pre-con. So, with that being said, do you feel like the Phoenixborn are unique enough?
I think
that you could build the 1 pack.
I think they are. In the sense that like like the Silver Snake is a very unique conjuration, right? Like no one has it. Of course, you can play like if you're gonna say like I'm gonna play Mayoni Viper, which for sure there are decks out there that don't use it. And you're kind of just building around her spell board, her health, and her battlefield. Probably she'll feel generic, but like I think building around Silver Snake, building around status building around even her command strike is like really. I mean, it's not the most unique thing, but it's like a very combo piece kind of thing, right? Where you're like,
Sure.
Okay, like it's a side action. I can do this thing, and then you have Phoenixborn now that have abilities that are also main actions now, and you have Cole who has abilities that like aren't even actions. They're just you can just it's a side action, but it doesn't require you to exhaust, so you can use it like every turn potentially.
Yeah.
And so I think it's not like it's not like this is the thing. It's not like Marvel Champions where you get like 15 cards, that come with the hero that
Sure.
like really flesh out that hero. But I think it's enough
I mean, that's
to like really make it distinct of like how you want to build around a specific Phoenixborn.
so that's my biggest concern with the game is it too open? And I think Mike and I talked about this.
Yeah, I listened to the thing and I basically disagreed with you, both of you, on it.
Because looking at my deck, the only card that is unique to my deck is Encore, right? Now, the other benefit is, I mean, my special power is just draw a card, whatever. You can do that with any horse head anyway. So instead of a horse head, you could do it with a one less, the middle one. But besides
but the other thing that
I could add this deck to anybody, and they could play it. Beside the
right,
Encore
but
card.
I think one of the differences though is like you have to also look at if you're gonna play your signature card, which you don't have to, but like your ability card also has this dice type in it. So if you
Right.
want to use it, you have to have some sympathy magic, right? Like you don't have to have all, you have to have some. So that kind of locks the choices. Like I was kind of thinking like, oh, you have these stallions, right? Like, man, these guilders would be really great with your deck. And then it's just like, what does it cost to play a gilder, right? Like it costs you need charm magic
Yeah,
and you
you
need
need
natural magic
no,
to
yeah,
play it.
you're
So
not
like
gonna no, I'm not gonna
so
play
you
that with mine.
so you
For
could,
sure.
right? Like you could actually have 3 dice types. Like people definitely do. Because you want to potentially build around stallions. Uh but again, like I think the dice do do limit your hero if you want to use that stuff. A good amount, as I've found while deck building, actually. Like it's like, oh, I actually want this card, but then it's like, oh, but it doesn't really work with the dice type that I'm working in. So it kind of reminds you of like the aspects, but not as much in champions, that it does restrict your deck building a little bit, where you are narrowing the card pool, but not in as an obvious where it's like just this aspect, because you have to look at, it's a little more confusing. You have to look at the dice types that you kind of want to be leaning into.
Right.
Um, kind of for that. And then I think actually your battlefield and spell boards, like you don't have to build against those, but you do have those limits. Like so you actually kind of want to like potentially like dump out a ton of like smaller weenier units to kind of overwhelm your opponent. Like that seems to be what your Phoenixborn's leaning into. Whereas like I only have a battlefield 4 that's like significantly smaller, right? Like I cannot dump out like nearly as many units
And you'd want
out
more
on the board.
spellboard cards because your spellboard's bigger. I get
Yeah, but
I get all that. But I feel like this is a pretty good deck, and I feel like I could play this with almost anybody. And I don't really care what I put 1 or 2 dice in of the type that they want for their hero. Like I don't feel like Encore is a key part of this deck. It certainly helped, right? I got my string mage back, which is nice.
I mean, I feel like without having good access to card draw, it
But
makes Squall Stallions harder.
if you're all horse heads, then you have plenty of access to card draw.
I mean, it costs you a dice for it, right? To draw
Sure.
versus the musical melody, which is 50% of the dice, right?
Well, but yeah, I mean, it's literally 1 card discard away. You know what I mean? And a minor action, to be fair. Away from
right, and that's like
I
literally
think the
it's
big key to this is you can exhaust the enemy hero. Like honestly, I think that is the big. Now you exhaust yourself again, but exhausting the enemy hero, especially in Red Rains where it gets rid of an entire token, it's pretty stinking good. But yeah. Anyway, all right. So we got a little bit off topic. But you love how open the deck building is, and I honestly don't know that I love it because Marvel Champions, I feel like even when I build a shield deck, it feels very different depending on which hero I put it with. Because I talked about building packs with Marvel Champions at the beginning. You know what I mean, I literally said these exact words. You could build 25 card decks and just put any hero with them. And I still believe that is true. You could do that. It doesn't necessarily lean into what that hero's good at, but you could do it. And again, you're a min-maxer, so you care more about like something being really good. Like, I view this deck as really good out of the box. I don't know that I would change any cards in this deck.
I think it is really not fantastic at removing cards.
What do you mean?
It doesn't have like fantastic plink damage like out the gate.
No, it definitely does not. But I don't.
So that's like area control is definitely like a weakness of the deck.
Yeah, I mean, you need Crescendo. Excuse me. Crescendo's good at that. Take a damage to do 3 damage. It's pretty good for that. And there's one, the River Scald. So that's why I always start him with that 3. I don't even know what that 3 magic spell does, honestly. I Shatter Pulse? I don't know that I've ever used it. I just use it to discard for 3 damage. You can play a spell after a unit you control is destroyed. Destroy a target unit. You may change 2 dice of the player's active pool to the side of your choice. I mean, that's pretty good, but it's pretty expensive at 3. Especially like...
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I guess part of it for me is like the reason it's fun that it's so open is you can just build really neat things. Like I just think about Lord of the Rings, like how flexible and open it is. Even just like you can build whole decks around unit destruction, right? Like the Jessa Nani deck that I was playing, which is the kind of voodoo lady, I guess. Like she has a whole deck around basically like damaging, self-inflicting damage on units, and then when you kill them, like stuff happens too. And there's like a Chanter's Revenge, which is anytime a unit's destroyed, you put a status token on this spell, and then you can basically side action it, exhaust it to basically do damage to the enemy Phoenixborn. So you're literally just like burning down the enemy, kind of
by killing
like,
their aspects.
No, just by killing your own units, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like you're basically like the unit. There's a unit that comes in that like it has 3 health, but like the side action is it's not an exhaustion. It's literally like do damage to itself to do damage to any other unit on the board.
Right.
So it's literally like hurting itself to like kill something else, and then when it does die, you can like there's a lot of that stuff. So like you could potentially like run Shatter Pulse like with that thing where it's like, oh, like I killed this thing and now I can not I like killed the thing and then also killed this other thing for the cost of like 3. Like it, pretty decent if it's like a beefy unit,
Yeah.
And I get to change 2 dice, so it's like a lot of value out of 3. But I don't know, like I think it breaks it open. I think part of it where you're like disenchanted is also like you're not really using your main. Whereas I feel like obviously like for Main of Viper, if I'm building up a massive unit, like that like 10 attack anywhere on the board is pretty big, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's great. So by the way, Poke Phantom said, don't forget that the horse draw is also a discard. But unless we played it wrong, it says draw a card. You may choose 1 card in your hand and place it on top or bottom of your draw pile. It says may. So unless that's very poorly worded, I don't think you have to discard as well. So, but let me know if that's just poorly worded or what. Because it seems to me that you get to draw a card and you could put it on top or bottom, but you don't have to. Or not just that card, but any card. It doesn't say you must choose 1 card in your hand and place it on the top or the bottom. But we do have some new people today, so I figure we'll shout them out. We got Jordan Dixley says Living Card Games, and Poke Phantom also says Ashes is so great. So I feel like, and we talked about this in the past, I feel like Ashes is great for somebody who loves deck building. It is the most open deck building, as you've said, of any game I've seen. But let's talk about this. it is also very open. And sorry, my phone just died. So that is my. Oh, here we go. Here's a charger right here. So it is the most open deck building. So I feel like it's overwhelming. If you are new to this game and you've never deck built before, well, or never deck built for this game, I feel like there's a lot of learning curve because it's so open. So what's your response to that? As far as
I think that's true. I think that's true in Lord of the Rings as well, right? Like I don't think that's any different. You got to pick potentially 3 heroes, and there's no restrictions, right? Like you don't even have to put cards in your deck that you can actually play, right? Like there's a big thing in Lord of the Rings too, where like you can build decks where you can cheat cards into play by
right,
like it's like the make the call thing kind of thing, which you can't do in Champions. But imagine you could put different aspect stuff, like you could cheat them in by playing make the call to then play them from your discard or something, right? So there's a lot of that stuff potentially in Lord of the Rings too.
so
And I think it just because it's bigger, like you're saying, it is more overwhelming because you the
you could do
guardrails or
anything you want.
restrictions
Yeah, you.
limit like what you have to look at, right? So it just makes it more approachable, right? It's like
Wait, hold on.
I,
It's more approachable with guardrails or without them?
with them, right? Like in Champions, it's like I
Yes.
pick one aspect, so I only have to look at a quarter of the total aspect cards plus basic cards, right?
Yes. So who do you think would like this game?
Um, I think people. Well, so one, I think you don't have to deck build, even though that's like a big possibility because it does. I mean, it predates Champions in that sense, but like everything is a precon.
Yeah.
Not to say the precons are necessarily great, but like I think in PvE they are probably better than PvP because in PvP you're dueling, and so the balance matters a lot there.
Right.
And in PvE, right? Like you just took this thing and you think that deck's great, right? Like you've made 0 changes to it, and we've played it tonight and we won against Standard 2. Um, and I think they've really leaned into that, which I think is fun because there's that whole campaign mode where you start with a precon, and maybe that's actually kind of answering your question, a good way to kind of start to learn some of the cards. I know you like to play the precons in Marvel Champions, but you can play the precons in here in a 3 kind of game campaign where you're allowed to, after every win, kind of change out like a certain number of cards like from the card pool. So you're still keeping kind of the core, and you're like maybe learning the Phoenix Born a little bit and the cards they have, and like being like, oh, I don't really play that card, or this card's like not maybe very good for PvE, right?
Right.
And you can swap that out with potentially other cards as
Have
you
you
kind of learn
played
the
a
card pool.
campaign? I have
No,
not.
I haven't played. I've not played any of the campaign stuff, but I kind of just don't really enjoy campaigns in general.
Well,
But
there's
I know that a
unique
lot of people really like it.
cards for the campaign as well, right?
There's no like campaign specific cards besides channel magic, but you can use channel magic in any deck, including PvP. But the one thing with channel magic is you can replace kind of any 3 cards with channel magic in your deck if they're like potentially not very good for PvE.
Do you have to use 3 card sets
No, you don't have to. It just 3 is the max number of cards that they give
of
you
each type?
slash of each type,
Yeah.
except conjurations, obviously.
Yeah, so I could do 3 summon salamander monks, or I could do 2, or I could do 1.
Yeah, like I was saying, that I don't really care that much about having 3 summon silver snakes, so I have it. You have that first 5, right?
Yep.
And currently in PvE, there isn't anything that like makes you discard your like ready spells yet.
Well, and it
Um,
specifically says for this one, for your summon, spell guard, this spell cannot be affected by opponent spells. So
Sure. So
you
like maybe I
cannot
only
get rid
want
of
one
it.
copy of it in my deck, right? And I know I'm going to get my opening hand, right? So I
Well, it's
only put one in.
interesting because for me, my snake died all the time. You did a much better job of keeping your snake alive, which is why we won so easily. I mean, being able to do 20 damage without repercussion is pretty
Oh
darn
yeah,
good. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think Manly Viper is a popular character for sure.
Yeah. I mean, for my character, these Squall Stallions, like
I
the
felt like you worked really hard for that, man.
well, but if you get two summoned Squall Stallions, I've definitely summoned them, both of them in one turn easily, because it doesn't cost that much. It's just 2 dice. So for
I
four
mean,
dice, I could summon two and discard my entire hand, plus draw cards and discard even more to get like 6/6 in one turn. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's why for me it's pretty easy. Well,
I mean, you could make an argument then that Encore is actually insanely good because of the first five, because you could basically have Encore in your hand to allow you to double up on a single card in your opening round.
yeah, that's true. If it's in
Uh,
your discard only.
oh, it's discard pile for a card other than
Yeah,
Encore.
yeah,
So you have to
yeah.
have a way. So you basically, because you basically use it to for that one card you played instead of Shattered. I guess it doesn't have any. Oh no,
You
yeah, it
need
doesn't
all
have
your
any.
dice turn one. I feel like starting turn two, you don't need as many dice. But their summons, like Summon Stallion, actually cost a. They're not. It's not free. Um, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's not free to get out there starting stuff that they want,
yeah.
like siphon,
It
like
makes yeah,
magic
it makes
siphon
sense.
and stuff.
Yeah,
It's all pretty expensive, but once you have it out, it's pretty easy at that point.
yeah. I think one of the things that's like really interesting about this game is that I think, especially coming from Champions, where card draw is currency, and your hand is currency, right? Is that in some ways it feels like the dice matters almost more than your hand sometimes, depending on the Phoenix Born you're playing. Um, like it, like
But
it's
you can
pretty easy
always
to burn through your
discard.
dice.
Well, yeah, you can always. Oh, well, yes, but you can always discard to change the die faces.
Yeah, I just mean like your
The
hand,
number of
like the value of
dice.
your hand. I feel like in a lot of card games is worth a lot, and I feel like in this game it's not that it's not worth a lot, but it almost feels like you're saying that first round, like being able to spend all your dice, right? Like I spent 8 of my 10 my first round, um, but like kind of you do think a lot about like what you put in your first five, so you can actually like kind of optimize your turn, right?
Yeah, but I don't know that I would ever draw. Here's my other thing. I don't know that I would ever change my first five. Now, maybe it's because for this deck specifically, maybe it's because I'm always playing against the same Chimera, right? So that is a possibility that like this is my setup for this one Chimera. But I can't imagine not putting summon my Salamander monks, not summoning my Squall monks on turn one. I really like the one that does damage, and I like the high value card, so I can do that damage. You know, and I like the magic fixing, magic siphon card, right? So like, of the cards that I own, I mean that's one of my negatives. It's like, yeah, it's so wide open, but I also feel like it's obvious what you want to do, and because there's no randomness in your opening draw, it's almost like round one of 3 or 4 is kind of set every game. Now, again, this could be different in multiplayer. I haven't played enough multiplayer to have formed that opinion. Like, maybe it's like, oh, I know you always use those first 5, so I'm going to do this to counter that. But
Yeah, I think that's probably definitely true in multiplayer. I find definitely some variations for me. Like I had to use dice that I didn't want to use to prevent certain situations, right? Like I killed I remember spending a frog to kill a thing, I think on your side in the opening turn or something like that, and that was a dice that allowed basically prevent me from playing another card that I was planning on playing, right?
right.
Like I think there are like turn to turn adjustments that you can make. And I find that's especially true for like natural magic because that one pain damage is actually like really impactful.
Oh, for sure. And I
Um,
mean, one of the cool things which you pointed out is my deck could remain 100% the same, and then I could do this. Take this one dice out, put this frog in. And now I've got a plink damage too, right?
yeah, I actually think that would be it. actually a really neat thing for your deck because you have Magic Siphon,
Right. I mean,
right? Like
and just that changes
like
substantially.
it shores up a weakness in your deck,
Right.
100%. Like you could put two natural dice in your deck because you can target yourself, so you can change them both, right? And now you can plink 2 damage across 2 turns.
Across 2 turns. That's the key. And if I did that, then I could take out this card. See, now we're talking deck building, right? I take out this Guilt Link over here because that's the only reason I keep it in is for like this one random blink
Right, and now you're
damage.
not relying on like taking damage for it. And
Well, that's the thing. Like I put this in turn 1, which is when I took all my damage, but like you have to exhaust it anyway, so you can only use it once per turn. And
yeah,
so like I didn't want to take damage. That's why I didn't mind discarding it at the end. I'm like, I'm down to 6 life. Like I can't take damage. Like I just need to do. Um so what are your thoughts on the co-op of this? Like this,
I,
how the AI activates, how they get
it's super fast, which I think is good. Like there doesn't seem to be as much like comboing, mostly because it is like a very back and forth, which is very different from I think like more traditional card games that allow you to play multiple things. And so when you allow a player to kind of do that, I think you also have to have stuff like Surge in games where the enemy deck can do that too. Um, so it definitely feels speedy, right? But it's still like brain burnery. I also do like the upgrades. They're not necessarily like super blowout, but they are at least somewhat impactful. Like,
What do you
I mean,
mean?
I've definitely almost like the upgrades for the behavior and the ultimate are like
Oh, so
pretty minor.
every time they upgrade, every time they go through and get to their ultimate again, or
Yeah, I
that's
think
what you're
that's
talking
like somewhat unique in the sense that like when we play Marvel Champions, like the boss tends to usually not get stronger unless you're playing like Hood or something. Um,
until you
and so
get
the
to
fact that
phase 2.
yeah, phase 2 or something. But it's kind of nice that the you have some control over this, but then that the boss kind of does get stronger over time.
Yeah,
Um,
I definitely
but yeah, I
like
mean
that design.
it's a lot of dice rolling, which is the thing that I maybe don't love,
Well, yeah,
but it's not too
so that's the
terrible.
thing. Well, no, it's not too terrible when you don't roll 3 12s in a round, right? But like if you roll 3 12s, that's 3 red rains just come right out. Um, so and the dice reducing ones are definitely just means you're going to discard cards for sure. So I have found the dice more frustrating in this game than they are in some games,
Do you
but
just have like an unlucky dice that you
I
just roll
think I
12 all the
do.
time?
No, I do think it has to be weighted, right? Like, there's no way I'd roll as many 12. I don't think I played a game without rolling a 12. Um,
You just like roll 12, so you never even get to kill units because you're just attacking the chimera.
well, I don't. Oh no! I'm not even talking about defending. But yes, defending too. It's very frustrating when you're trying to like kill a stupid unit, and that rule is frustrating. We talked about this off air. That rule is frustrating for me in general because it's so easy to forget to roll a dice every time you attack a unit. I almost wish that they had put something on the unit, and maybe it's different, right? Like if it's a little weenie dude, the Chimera is like, I don't care about defending him, and he defends on a 4+, and you just have a little shield with a 4+ on there. It does two things. Number one, it makes it so he defends differently depending on what aspect it is. But number two, it's just a reminder, a gentle reminder on the card that you need to roll to defend. Put it right next to their life value or whatever, and like have it be a defense value that the Chimera will defend on.
Yeah, I think I tend to prefer card-based stuff in the sense that like you have the boost cards and other things, where you like flip off the top of the deck to do something, but obviously that impacts the fatigue system and stuff. So they would have
Sure.
to make the deck thicker or something. But I think that allows you to add a little more variance too, like you're saying, right? Like you draw a thing and it's like oh, like the Chimera defends or something, right? You can have an icon for that, or like
Sure.
actually like they get a +1 attack or something, right? Like allows them to kind of do more spelly things potentially.
Yeah, I do. I like the way, and we compared these a little bit, but Skytear Horde I think does it in a much nicer way for me, where you're just flipping one card, and even better than Marvel Champions potentially, and even better than Lord of the Rings, where like Lord of the Rings you have to put one for every card. Now Marvel Champions, most things don't flip a card. Just the villain flips their card, uh, for the most part to add to its attack. But like in Skytear Horde, you flip a card and it might add to the attack of the right or left one, so it's somewhat predictable because it's not the entire battle line. But at the same time, it's a little bit of unpredictability. Like, oh, I hope it doesn't add to the left guy's attack, but it might do something else completely. It might not add to attack at all. It might do like some special effect. So for me, I really like that system because the way they did it there too, which is smart, is the hardest enemies to defeat also have the most icons there. So it's like, okay, this is a hard enemy, so this card is going to be hard no matter when I draw it. You know what I mean? Some people do it the opposite, where it's like their hardest cards are the weakest, like boost cards or whatever, and that doesn't make any sense because then you could get super lucky or one way or the other. Um, so I don't know. The bottom line is I really like the Skytear Horde system of
Sure. Um,
boosting enemies rather than rolling the dice or whatever.
yeah, I mean, I think dice is probably not my favorite mechanic, but I think overall for the like system itself for the AI, like I think I'm impressed with how much of the PvP mechanics they've managed to bring over, right? Like there's only I think they said there's only one card in the entire card pool that doesn't work in this game mode. Of course, like the value of the cards for sure are different across
Yes.
PvE and PvP,
Yep.
but like the fact that they're able to make it so every single card except one
That's really good.
does
Yes.
something impactful for a game that was not designed from the ground up for PvE is
Yep.
really impressive to me from a design perspective.
Well,
So I, you know,
yeah. Well, on the other side of things, like, what was it? Keyforge did something similar, and I don't think they did as good a job. And they didn't have dice rolling; they just had you flip cards from the top of the deck, as we were talking about. I don't think they had a great way to scale difficulty. Where I think they did a much better job here, and player count also. Where I think they did a much better job here. And that one they were trying to go from 1 to 4 players right out of the bat too, which is I don't know if
yeah, I feel like that's ambitious, right? Like
more
like you
than
were saying
ambitious. They just
on the
failed it, right? Like,
uh yeah, I think sticking to 1 to 2 like makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm honestly impressed that for a game like Ashes that they even allowed co-op versus just. I think you could easily get away with just making it a solo game, right?
but
Um,
it wasn't that hard to do. The way they did it was really smart. Everybody's got their own battle line. You increase the ultimate number. Like they did, it was a lot of,
I'm sure it's a lot of play testing to get that balance right, like what those numbers should be, right?
but it feels good at both solo and 2 player. I will say that. Um, so yeah, no, I think they did a good job for the most part. Um, I don't love the 12 result, but it doesn't ruin the game for me either.
I think you need better dice. Just get a different dice, man.
Well, it's the
It
one that
sounds like
came in the
that's like
box. Like we
it
used.
sounds like that's one of your problems is you need to get like a perfectly weighted D12.
Yes.
Uh, um, like you asked the question how the co-op is. So beyond the AI, I think one of the interesting things has just been the game is not normally co-op, right? So these cards, I think for a lot of people, you don't think about, you ask the question like, can I ready your unit, right? I think those are the fun discoveries that you're gonna get in Ashes for the co-op, where
Sure.
I think that's probably why it's not designed for 3. Like for sure they could tweak the numbers and stuff, but like I think these cards, it's like it feels kind of broken that you can exhaust a unit to ready a 13 attack unit or something across the table, right?
But you could
Like
have put that card in your deck, right? And I think you probably
sure.
would. If you were deck building with the snake, you're going to put anything you can to unexhaust the unit in your deck. If you were deck building, that unit would definitely be in there, as well as the spell that you have that unexhausts it. Because if I'm using that snake 4 or 5 turns, 5 times a get around, I mean, it's just way more powerful.
Sure. I mean, there's, you know, like I think that's why you have stuff like Command Strike and other things. It obviously doesn't get this big in PvP normally either. You know, like I think it
Right.
is
People
the
would take it out. They'd aim for it.
yeah, people would take it out. The other thing is like the fact that I get to boost it for both sides makes it stronger in co-op than it is in solo.
Boost it. Oh, yeah. Because there's twice as many things.
Yeah, and I get it for either side, right? It's not just mine.
Yeah. So I do think it's a little bit overtuned for co-op. I agree with you there. I only played it solo, and I had a hard time building it up. Because every time I did anything, it would just get killed really quick. And let me tell you, I didn't realize that one card was so good.
Golden. Yeah, you were complaining to me, and I was just like, dude, in her precon, she literally has a card that like is there to prevent the whiplash effect. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I didn't know what you were talking about, but now I saw it played, and it was great. So, I mean, that's the one thing I'll say is... sorry, I was reading Mary's comment. She said, it's a Peter problem. I mean...
I agree with that statement.
I mean, maybe. But I also think I am probably closer to a normal consumer than you and probably Mary, who are very into these card games. Now, maybe not our audience. Maybe our audience, the Marvel Champion audience, the co-op card gamer audience that wants these deck building, that wants these constructible. I don't think I'm closer to them, but I think I'm closer to a normal audience, you know what I mean, of all gamers. Where it's like, I'm glad they do precons, right? Without the precon, I don't know that I would be playing this game as much.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think that's fair. And I think that probably represents a lot of the probably broad One Stop Co-op Shop podcast listening and Discord base too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it is. I think it's a very card gamery card game.
Would this be your lifestyle game? Would you choose this over Marvel Champions or Lord of the Rings? Like, if you had a more limited budget than you do, and you had to pick one of these games, would this be the one that rises to the top for you?
I don't know if it'd be the one that rises to top in its current form because it's hard to compare the content.
Right. It's like a starter set still, I feel like.
We just haven't seen it evolve yet, right? Like,
yeah.
I think for a single release for Chimera, it's like probably more than I expected. Like, I don't know if I had decently high expectations just watching some of the reviews and stuff, but just like hearing it on the surface, like PvE being added to it, I think they've definitely exceeded the expectations of like what I thought, because I didn't look into it when I heard of it, right?
Right.
It was just like, yeah, whatever, okay.
Are you all in on this one?
Yeah, I'm pretty all in on this one. I think part of it is the release cycle is pretty consistent, unlike FFG as of recent, across all their LCGs.
Let's be honest, it hasn't been consistent for years, so maybe now it's consistent, but
no, I just mean they're kind of on this like quarter release, except for Red Reigns. They literally delayed the game release to make this PvE mode to play test and do it as part of the thing. But I think like from what I understand, after they kind of did Reborn as part of the Team Covenant like player driven thing, like Plaid has basically committed to like releasing content, and it sounds from talking with people in the community that it's been like once a quarter, like every 3 months, like content comes out, and it's fairly consistent.
Yeah, but
so I think like
how long has it been since Reborn came out? A year or 2 years? I mean, Fantasy
2019
Flight
or
was
something
on the schedule. Really? It's been 4 years? I feel like that's not right.
2020. I don't know when Reborn came out. There's definitely like a year gap.
Not even close. Like I feel like it's been 2 or 3 years. I mean, and let's be fair, Marvel Champions was on a great release schedule for the first few
Ish.
years. Well, for the
Ish.
first with Marvel Champions, I mean now obviously not.
Well, I just mean like they've always been played with like
Holy
not
crap!
hitting
It
dates.
says 2015,
2015 must be the
the original.
yeah, the original.
But Ashes Reborn is what I looked up. It says 2015. It's got the Reborn box on it. Let me see if there's a normal Ashes. Um,
Announcing Ashes Reborn 2020.
okay, but it was announced in 2020. It doesn't mean they released the first stuff in 2020.
I mean, they basically have re-released all of the existing Ashes stuff since then on which
Right,
is a
and
good
that's
amount of
the
content at
thing.
this point.
Is it all new content like every quarter, or is it just um like rehash of older stuff?
I think it's a lot of probably a rehash of cleanup of existing things,
Right. So how hard
reworking
is
a lot
that
of the
for?
heroes.
I'm not poo pooing. I'm trying not to
I
poo
don't know.
poo.
They
You
have
know what
one
I
dude
mean?
who's like doing it.
But like
Like
yeah, Marvel Champions has come up with all new stuff pretty much every month. Now we're on a cold spell right now, so everybody's angry, right?
oh
But
yeah, I think they've consistently have been inconsistent to some degree. Like even when the first year when it came out, there was like that delay, right? And then they like released it early after announcing the delay, where it like wasn't supposed to come out in December, it was supposed to come out in like January, and then it came out early or something. And they released like all three packs of like Miss Marvel, Cap, and Green Goblin at the same time, but they were
right,
supposed to release like sequentially. Like they like FG's been known for like throughout their entire LCG life, like just like screwing over Star Wars LCG for like not releasing after the core set came out and like kind of killing that game off super early. Like they just have a history, you know, like they just have dry spells. Like I think like generally too, like
what do
this
you
dry
think the
spell for Marvel
numbers?
Champions
What do you think the numbers are though? Like,
for those games,
do you think Marvel Champions sells 10 times as many, 100
it
times as many?
has to be 100 to 1,000 times more than
Right.
Ashes.
So I guess to some degree, is it easier to release more regularly, or is it harder when you're selling at those volumes? I don't know the answer to that. Like I've only sold at the volumes we've sold at. Like
Yeah,
it's
I have no idea what the distribution is. The other problem you also have is like, I assume Plaid Hat is just a smaller, you know, company.
sure, of course.
And they're just like a lot more. I mean, Marvel Champions also has. I guess you can count Arkham in this, right? Because they
Which
actually
is
own that
both
IP.
better and worse though when you think about it, right? Because Caleb, one of the main designers for Marvel Champions, when he wants to release something, he's got to run it by like 50 people. Now that also means he
Yep.
has 50 playtesters to go through. So if one little thing goes wrong, if somebody of those 50 people catches something, it might delay your release. Whereas Plaid Hat might have 3 people playtesting, and like they're like good enough. You know what I mean? Like, let's just send it out there. Now, I don't know enough about Ashes to know whether there's been huge swings with their content, but I'll tell you, there's a Plaid Hat game that I played. Now, first of all, let me say this: I love Plaid Hat. Summoner Wars, definitely a top 5 game of all time for me. So I don't want to poo-poo their company. Like I love what they're doing, and I want them to keep going. But at the same time, like not all their stuff that they've released has been like perfectly balanced. You know what I mean? So it's way easier to stay on schedule when you don't have to be perfect with every release, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Not that FG for sure is perfect.
No, for
I
sure
my
not.
my
There are many games I could point out with them too. You're right.
I think my comment is mostly like I think anything just working for a bigger company just is more bureaucracy, more stuff like you're saying, right? And especially once you draw on IP that I'm not like faulting necessarily FG for it. It's just like they aren't the most consistent for releasing. I do think this like dry spell Marvel Champions is like actually kind of common in their LCGs. Is that like they seem pretty decent in the first few years, and then it kind of like has this massive fall off of like how fast they release stuff. Like if you look at Lord of the Rings, there's a point where they're releasing like the saga boxes plus a whole cycle in the span of each year. And then it became like it took like a year ish to release a single cycle, right? So like
Yeah.
it seems like they definitely like as the games get older. And again, like I think these games, like you talk to Caleb, right? Like they're designed 2 years in advance, right? So like they're designing this content well ahead of time, but it's like for some reason through the marketing and other parts of it that isn't designed, it's just like slowing down in the system. So I do think Plaid Hat probably has the advantage of they're closer to that kind of pipeline, right? Uh, that probably makes it easier to release stuff at a smaller quantity and on a more regular basis, right?
Yeah. Cool. All
Um,
right. Well, I think we both made our points very well known. I know you wanted to counter some of my statements that I made about the game. I still stick to them for me. But let's Jordan says, personally, I suck at deck construction. Precons tend to be my go-to, and I've gotten most of the Fantasy Flight living card games. Yeah, I mean, for me, so if I'm comparing it to the Fantasy Flight games, I mean, Lord of the Rings is at the bottom for me of the Fantasy Flight games. Now, my interest is peaked, and I bought that game when it first came out, by the way. I had the original release. I bought the whole first cycle. I got rid of it. I was so interested in getting back into it. I got it again. Not everything, of course. Played it again. Still felt the same way about it. So, would I still feel the same now after playing so much Marvel Champions? It certainly wouldn't pass Marvel Champions, but I feel like I would understand the systems more because there are some similarities there. But for me, Arkham's at the bottom of the 3 LCGs.
didn't you say Lord of the Rings is
I
at the
meant
bottom?
Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry. Lord of the Rings, and then Arkham, and then Marvel Champions at the top. Where would this
I'm
fit
surprised
in?
Arkham is not at the bottom for you after loving Marvel Champions.
Well, I've tried to play Lord of the Rings again. It still seems long for me. And even though it's weird because the turns are integrated, so it shouldn't feel long. And again, I don't think I've had a great experience. We're going to play it in the next couple weeks, Terence. We're going to play some Lord of the Rings, I promise you. And we've played it again recently, and I had a decent time with it.
Yeah, you actually said you enjoyed it a lot more than you thought
I
going
did.
into
But you
it.
got to remember, Carcosa Cycle for Arkham Horror for me was super fun. Like, not played every week fun, and I definitely had bad experiences since then with certain missions, scenarios, whatever. But I really liked the Carcosa Cycle a lot for Arkham Horror. So that has a very positive flow. But I think, believe it or not, I'm trying to figure out if this is above or below Lord of the Rings for me at this point. Ashes. Because I don't think it's going to be above either of the other ones. Either Marvel Champions or Arkham Horror. So for me, it'd be somewhere around where Lord of the Rings is. And I think until there's more content for this one, it's really hard to say. I think with more
I think
content,
that's fair.
this one might
I
pass it, Lord of the Rings. But again, with more plays of Lord of the Rings, although I've played that game like 20 times, it's not like I haven't given it a chance. That's the weird part about Lord of the Rings. It just never hit for me the way it does for a lot of people. So I don't know what it is. I don't know where it bogs down for me. But I'm still going to play it more, and I want
I
to.
feel like you actually didn't have many complaints when we played on Dragon Cards actually that one time. You
Yeah,
seem to really enjoy yourself, so
I need to play it more. I just need to get back to it.
yeah. I mean, I think any game that it's not like as second nature, like you just get bogged down on just looking stuff up as well.
Sure. Well,
And
and you
that
have to
always.
deck build for Lord of the Rings, which I've gotten over my hatred of that concept. Like for me, I want to be able to play any deck against any scenario. Even if it's worse, I still want to be able to play it, right? And I feel like some scenarios are very minion heavy. And I guess Marvel Champions probably the same thing, right? We've tried to break like Collector 1 by playing what's her name? Uh, like ally
Yeah,
heavy
but like
decks
even
and
at that
stuff.
point, you're still deck building for that scenario, right?
Right, but in the worst possible way, right? We did it in a way that like would theoretically hurt us. But I don't feel like Marvel Champions, you have to do that for most scenarios. And in fact, the only ones you really do have to do are things like Collector 1, which people hate. I don't hate it. Actually, Collector 1's
I
fun
mean,
for me.
I would make the argument most of the fifth villain scenarios, like Ronan, Magneto, Venom Goblin, you probably do.
Do you need to deck build the same way, though? Like just heavy killy stuff? I mean, I don't know.
No, like in Venom Goblin, you put your those attack cards in. That's a form of deck building.
Of course.
Like it doesn't have to be super advanced, right? Like in Lord of the Rings, like you might have to deck build is I need healing. I need some more than zero amount of healing because there's some direct damage, right? Like, or I need whatever, right? Like I think it's similar to Marvel where it's like the thing with Marvel is you tend to get most of the pillars of what you need in your signature cards
Right.
or something, right? And if you just suck at deck building in Lord of the Rings, then you just don't put all the things you need to win in it, right? But like if you
Sure.
build an all around deck, I think it generally works mostly okay, and then you can usually sideboard stuff. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna swap some of this stuff out because I need healing to deal with the archery or something, right? Like, uh, I think people like overdo like some of that, right? It's like, like I, I mean, there's definitely like some that are more puzzly, but that I think that's also true in some of the harder Marvel Champion scenarios too,
Sure.
and definitely true in Arkham.
All right, so Terrence, I think next week we go back to Marvel Champions, and then maybe the week after we play a Lord of the Rings scenario. And I don't even
Uh,
mean like a later one. I mean, we could do a saga one if you want. We could start one of the sagas, but I wouldn't even mind doing like mission 2 from the main box, or maybe we do mission 1 and 2 in the same night, right? We just don't have any discussion afterward. Because I think one's pretty quick, right? And you could probably build one deck that would be fun for both. Um, just as a primer for Lord of the Rings for people.
I think I am actually out next week traveling, so I will not be around.
Okay, so I'll do something Marvel Champions probably next week. Um, so it'll be a quick solo game, more than likely. Maybe I'll do my one of my running the gauntlets or something. So who knows? With either Spider or Venom, those are the two I feel like playing right now.
Have you built decks for Con of Heroes yet?
Oh no.
I know the answer to that, but I
I
figured I
mean,
would
I
ask.
have decks built, the same ones I had for Gen Con.
Are you gonna bring the same decks from Gen Con?
Why not? I didn't play them very much at Gen Con. I mean,
We
it
play
doesn't.
like 10. Wasn't Marvel Champions the most the like the most plays we played out of anything at Gen Con?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe they're not the same ones from Gen Con. Maybe I built something afterward. But I have like 5 decks, 6 decks built. I certainly built them for my kids and stuff. Like some of them that I have built are like Spider Ham um, and Star Lord that are definitely my son's decks. But I don't know. It might be fun to just try to play those in a fun way, like in a more intelligent way than they might have been played otherwise. So it might be fun to just like those are more fun decks. Those aren't definitely built, but I feel like Con of Heroes you're playing a lot of standard anyway, just because you're playing 4 players, so the games take longer. I certainly have some pretty strong decks in there as well. So it's not all just fun, fluffy decks.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how things are going to pan out this year. I'm curious how people are going to do the challenge stuff. Obviously, I'm self interested because I designed all that stuff, but I'm curious how many people are going to be doing it.
It really depends on how much time everything takes for me, honestly. Like, the more time I have, the more, like, if it's the only thing going on, I will certainly do the challenges, right? But if not, I'll be glad to have them to take them home. And we'll certainly do them on the stream or whatever else, you know?
Well, you'll have 3 times as much time as last year.
I will, because I will be there the whole time. That is true.
There's gonna be some events, but I think there's a lot of free play, incorporated in there. So I'm mostly just like not specifically for you, just curious how many people will use that as like a fallback of like, here's a pickup game with people. Like, what do people want to play, right?
Let's do one of the challenges, yeah.
Yeah, let's shuffle up these
I
cards,
was
draw
about
one.
to say, let's shuffle them up and draw one. It's exactly
Yeah,
what I was thinking.
that's like a big reason we did it in card form for that.
Yeah.
Was that you could shuffle it up with the same backs and you just like take one and then you just play it, right?
Yep. So, have they announced yet if there's going to be a new standard? Is there a standard, like, replacement deck that's been announced?
Have we announced it? That's a good question.
Because I know last year they said they were planning on doing it every year, but I don't know where we're at with that.
Yeah, I forget everything that they've spoiled on MCM. I obviously know the answer to that question.
Yes, and I'm assuming the answer is yes by the fact that you were like, I don't know.
I think I'm pretty sure we said it was something related to the Nemesis set, because when we're telling for people to pack and kind of build decks.
Got it.
Cool. So there is something there. I guess if it hasn't been spoiled, then it'll happen soon enough. So I'm fine with that. But I think we've talked actually a lot about a lot of the things that we've designed.
I believe they said last year they were definitely planning on doing it every year. So I don't think it's that much of a spoiler that they followed up on their promise from last year.
By they, you mean us? Like,
I mean, they meaning not me. I'm not part of this. That's all you, Terence.
It's not all me, but I am part of the crew.
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with Nemesis sets. And so I think we try to pick a different theme each year. We've spoiled some cards in here already.
From the standard?
So yes. Yeah, so like one of them is reveal proper foil is a treachery card. Reveal your set aside Nemesis minion. Each Nemesis minion attacks the player they're engaged with. If no attacks are made this way, this card gains search.
All right.
So you
take
an account
your Nemesis and then they attack.
Yeah, so just make sure to bring your Phoenix deck.
Yeah, or your what's her name?
Valkyrie.
Black Widow also loves her Nemesis coming out and attacking for 20.
Yep.
Attacking
Taskmaster
for 20 or thwarting for 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean if she doesn't have a chumper, that's just instant death.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for this one. We kind of pick a different theme each year, and we've already been talking about stuff for next year. So it should be good.
Cool. All right, Terrence, I'm getting super tired. I'm going to call it a night, but thanks, everybody. Oh, so Mary had some comments. Yes, you definitely need to play it more. I assume that's in reference to Lord of the Rings. I'm so sad I'm going to miss out on multi-table event, says Mary. Well, Mary, we will figure out a way to call you in, phone a friend.
During the con?
Right in the middle of the con. Like, Mary, are you playing solo at home right now? All right, this is what we're doing. Like...
we probably could do a thing at Gen Con or something. I don't know what other kind of events Mary's going to.
Oh, yeah, I'll be at Gen Con for sure, so... Cool. All right, Terrence, I'm calling it a night. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for joining me, as always, Terrence. And, we will see you all not next week. Probably next week, but in 2 weeks.
Are you doing a solo thing next week, potentially? Maybe.
Probably. I'll probably do something. It might not be... I mean, I should do Marvel Champions, because I don't want to...
You should see if Mary can come, since it's not coming to Con of Heroes.
Oh, that's another option, yeah. So we'll see. I don't even know what my schedule is for next week. So, you know me, Terrence. Like day before, I'm like, what are we playing tomorrow? So we'll see we'll see what it looks like a week out. But yes, and then I'd like to play Lord of the Rings in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So when you come back, but again, I'm okay with playing mission 1 and 2 or just mission 2 or whatever from the base set.
They do have that campaign, but we can obviously talk about that offline.
Well, yeah, we don't need to do a whole campaign, obviously, unless it's
No,
going
I
to be
mean
quick.
they've added campaigns to like all these re-release packs now.
All right. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that because I know not enough about Lord of the Rings, but I do want to show it off to our audience again, as part of this new like card game deck building thing we're trying to pull off here. Going away from just being Marvel Champions. So I think that's one we definitely have to add in, as well as some more Arkham plays as well. But we can wait till, depending on how delayed the next Marvel Champions release is. Maybe
It's August, man. Gen Con.
Yeah, so we have time to get a whole campaign in before August of Arkham Horror. So maybe we do some of that as well. Again, not an 8-mission campaign, but I think you said there are some 4-mission campaigns. So, yep, look forward to a lot more Marvel or for Lord of the Rings and Arkham, and maybe we play more Ashes and we play more Skyterror as well. So we'll see, but stay tuned. All right, everybody. Good night. Bye.
Good night, everyone. Bye.